Good evening and welcome back to a very special pint-sized preview. It's transfer deadline day and it's just me and Jaden here tonight.
Hi.
We're waiting on a few bodies to join us, but we thought we'd left it too late anyway, so we're going to get started. Jaden, good evening to you. Happy transfer deadline day.
You too, mate. It's my favourite time of the year, as we all know, after last year's just absolute... I don't even know how to describe it, to be honest with you. It was one of the greatest nights of Wycombe Twitter history, and doesn't look like we're going to repeat that, but we'll be here until 11 o'clock.
I'm quite nervous for two reasons. One of them being I think we peaked last year. And the second one, I wouldn't be surprised if we finished our business.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me. I'm nervous for a completely different reason, because I've got James Richards turn up to my hotel in about 15 minutes, so that always fills me with nerves. But
it will be nice to be able to get James Richards on a pint-sized preview because he sort of lets his hair down on these, and it's really good to see James not in work mode.
Yeah, I don't know how much you've seen it in when he's at Wycombe, but he does say a lot of out of context things. I think an out of context James Richards account has been on the cards for quite a while.
We'll see what he can get out of him tonight, and that might be one to set up over the weekend.
Yeah, I think I can get some out of him tonight. I'll try my best.
130 viewers already, so thank you to everyone tuning in far and wide. We're with you up until 11 p.m, probably a little bit later, because now in Wycombe we'll leave on to the final minute. Two signings today. We've been linked with as many as 7 players I've seen, but the 2 signings we have made, let's talk about Shamal George first. Seems a good signing on paper, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a very good signing. Like I pointed out plenty of times, I think he's the man who kept Striek out of Livingston. So, we're basically getting, the man who essentially, got Striek to come to us in the end, didn't he? Because he'd lost his number 1 place to Shamal George. But it's a smart signing. He's played a lot of top flight football over, I think it's 32 appearances last year. Obviously, they did go down, but he had a relegation release clause. We've been smart and triggered that. And it looks like on paper a really good bit of business. Only 26 as well, which is very, very young for a goalkeeper. So obviously we don't know the exact amount of the fee, but Wycombe would never pay over the odds for someone who they don't think is good enough. So yeah, I do apologise. James Richards is ringing me, so I'm going to have to pick that up and go and meet him in a second.
No, that sounds good.
I might have to leave you on your own for a few minutes if you don't mind. This is a disaster. What is going on?
That's fine. I could just get up and start singing or dancing. I'm not sure.
Do that, mate.
The Wycombe Way's got talent, or he's got no talent.
Wycombe Way's got talent. Right, next time you see me, I'll have a James Richards with me.
Sounds good. I'll see you in a bit.
I'll catch you in like 5 minutes.
Where are we? Okay, so you're blessed with me for about 5 minutes. Let's quickly run through Wycombe's transfer business this window. It is on the ticker along the bottom. I think I'm right in saying now 11 signings have come in. We obviously had Alex Hartridge, first of all, in from Exeter on a free. I'm not sure how much Wycombe spent this transfer window, but it is a little bit. Obviously, the deal for Dan Harvey was undisclosed. We paid a fee for him. And Shamal George today, a transfer clause triggered to get him in the building. That's a weird one. I'm sure we'll discuss that one a little bit more later. Another goalkeeper coming in affects Franco. It's coming along the bottom of your screen now. So Alex Hartridge in from Exeter, Jaden Bartolo in from Wellstone, Jack Matton in from Woking, Nathan Bishop in from Sunderland on loan, although I assume he's not here anymore. Brody Part in from Brighton on a free, Tyreek Backenson in from Sheffield Wednesday on a free, Dan Harvey from Milton Keynes in that undisclosed deal, although it's said to be not very much. Dan Ado from Shrewsbury on a free, excellent business there. Cameron Humphreys in from Ipswich on loan, who's made a really good impression in this last hour or so of football. Aaron Morley from Bolton, yet to get the best out of him, but I'm sure he'll be a good signing. Shamal George today from Livingston undisclosed, and Caleb Taylor in from West Brom on loan, another signing I'm very excited about. A few outs, but not too many, which I guess is a good thing. After the form of last season, the squad hasn't been disrupted too much, which is really, really nice. So we'll discuss some of the signings in more detail when some of the other lads get on here. We will discuss the win away at Swansea, which was really, really nice, into round 3, where we'll face Aston Villa. And I'm sure we'll quickly discuss the game against Blackpool tomorrow afternoon, which is a 12:30 kickoff, don't forget. So don't go leaving Wickham at 10 or 11 in the morning, because it's very unlikely that you'll get there in time. It is, of course, the pint-sized preview, so it'd be wrong not to have a beer to join you tonight. I hope that you've had a lovely Friday. Looking forward to the weekend and looking forward to the game tomorrow if you're heading up there. Let's see if there's any live comments. You can get your your tweets, up on the screen. You can join the live chat via X or YouTube, where we are also live tonight. Tom's is here, of course, ready for tonight's stream. Like I said, with you up until 11 o'clock this evening, when the transfer window slams shut. Although in typical Wickham fashion, I don't think 11 o'clock will be the end of it. Just seeing where Jaden's got to with James. Chris should be joining us at some point, and I'm sure some of the others will jump in and out throughout the evening. I can't promise that tonight's stream will be as good as last year's. I don't think we're going to have a pissed out of his head Dan Rice announcing a signing at 11 o'clock. So the only concern is I think last year we peaked too soon. There were 9 of us on the stream, if you remember. I think Jaden posted it out yesterday or Wednesday. But last year was something special. So we'll do the best we can to make it somewhat as good. But I don't think it's going to be anywhere near it. Where have they got to? I know they're joining us on the bar in a moment, so I think Jaden's going to get a couple of Guinnesses down him, which should make it a little bit more entertaining. Evening, Liam. Hope all is well where you are. Maybe later in the evening, Tom, because I'm not sure how many of the PSP guys are joining us this evening. So later on, if we've got room in the studio, we will get you on. And deadline day is going well at Marlow United too. Hope that's a good signing for you, Harrison. I'm just concerned they've got lost in the lobby somewhere. James had a bit of an emergency this afternoon. He had a flat tyre on his car, which means it was a little bit touch and go whether he was going to make it this evening. But he has made it to High Wycombe. He is in the same hotel as Jaden, but he's keeping him in the bar so that no funny business goes on in the room. And so when they join us, we'll have a bit more of a chat about the signings today. Who else might come in? Let's see if we can get a list up of who's been linked with Wickham over the course of the day. A pretty quiet transfer window actually in League One. I think only 10 signings by 7 o'clock this evening. Although the big one that could still go through is, of course, Jay Stansfield to Birmingham City for about 10 million quid, which I think is more than most clubs in the league have combined. Yes, Jaden is going Blackpool. He's going up there for a very special reason, which he may share, he may not. I'm not going to Blackpool because the Garden Centre have not given me the day off, which is lovely of them. Just trying to find the list of who we have been linked with today. Someone did post it in the preview group chats. Where are we? Maybe it was in the WhatsApp group. I'm not sure how much I can give away with certain names. Some of them are to be kept under wraps. So we'll keep hush about those. Was it DJ here? No. Where are we? It's just messages about DJ's mother. What happens in the group chat stays in the group chat. There must be a list somewhere. Here we are. Shamal George linked with, who is now obviously a Wycombe Wanderers player. Excited to see him in action, although mixed reviews from the Livingston fans, although they did say that about Max Stryjek as well. Daniel Ayala was a name linked with us last night and this morning. Currently a free agent. I believe he's been on the PFA's course over the last few weeks to try and get himself a club. Obviously, we had the bizarre news this morning that Wycombe had a £500,000 bid rejected for Fleetwood captain Brendan Wyerdue, and luckily I've been saved by, let's get them on, Jaden and Mr. Richard.
How's it going?
Good evening.
He's here.
Hello. I was just about to drop you a tweet, George. So yes.
Drop me a tweet.
Oh, yeah, I am indeed, mate. I am indeed. We are live, aren't we?
We are.
We are live.
Hello.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Hello.
We did. I was laughing at you talking to 300 people, just trying to hold on until I got it.
It's actually a lot harder than it seems.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? What I didn't even hear what you said, but it was probably.
I was just talking nonsense about who we've been linked with, who we've signed.
James has brought a vacuum cleaner.
He's got a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, he has. Get the vacuum cleaner out. We got a deadline day vacuum cleaner. Eh?
Deadline day vacuum.
Needed to charge, and I didn't feel comfortable charging it at home in case my house burnt down. After what happened earlier on today with my unfortunate loss of a wheel, so yes, I don't want my wife coming back home from a business trip tomorrow to see that we are reduced to rubble. So
you'd rather burn down Wycombe Town Centre?
Everything's been good. Everything's been good.
Excellent.
This is the best deadline day I think we've ever had.
Well, this is one of two. So I was going to say there's not much competition, but actually compared to last year, there is plenty of competition.
Yeah, no, I mean, it could get better. We could have Dan Rice turn up.
As long as he's half pissed, otherwise it doesn't count.
Why is Chris just announced Drummond? Arguably the biggest return at deadline day could be Kyle Drummond to the Pint Size preview.
I was going to say, eat your heart out, Gideon Kadua.
Oh, poor Gideon, mate. You can't do that to him.
I am expected to speak to someone today, hopefully within the next hour, about a potential transfer. But whether that happens or not, we will have to wait and see. So, but if my phone goes off, I will probably have to answer it.
Is that the man who we spoke about earlier that we can't disclose?
Yes, it is the man that we spoke about earlier that we can't disclose. So if anyone is watching this, there is something that I know that I can't say. And if it doesn't come to fruition, then it's like it never happened. But it does come to fruition, then I can tell you the background behind it. But at the moment, I've been sworn to secrecy.
We're all sworn to secrecy as well.
Yeah.
We can't say.
Although he says sworn to secrecy, he has told 10 of us in the group chat. So he's not doing a great job, is he?
Well, within a trusted group of people.
We won't do any leaking on here.
Although it is exciting, we might get some exclusive news through James.
We may get some, exclusive deadline.
I knew it was good getting him involved in these previews. But I knew there's a reason for it.
That's the only reason
one appearance a season.
He's rocked up to the Premier in a suit with a vacuum cleaner.
Well, the vacuum cleaner was in the bag.
Yeah,
I didn't just walk in. I would have been turned away
it's
otherwise.
very nice. Very nice. What do you call it? It's lounge, really, isn't it? It's not much of a bar. I'd call it a lounge, but we got plug sockets down there in case my thing dies. Oh, yeah. I didn't bring my lead down. Yeah, I might need James to hold the fort when this laptop inevitably dies.
I can happily do that. I'm actually trying to get onto the Wi-Fi myself from my own ones.
Oh dear, no internet. It normally launches a pop-up and it's like, you need to sign in.
This pop-up has not worked for me, my friend.
Mate, how many things you got open on? This man's laptop is outrageously busy.
The joys of being a
A
journalist.
busy man needs a busy laptop.
He does indeed.
It is a very busy laptop. It'll be even busier tomorrow when we play Blackpool, that's for sure. So
Big announcement as well. It is, I'm aware that all you lot know, but for the viewers, I'm making my co-commentary debut on BBC Radio 3 Counties tomorrow, along with Sam Avery. Very much looking forward to that. So if you can't make it to the game, I would highly recommend listening on BBC 3 Counties for my wonderful insight, which will probably be terrible, but I'll do my best.
That is rather exciting.
Or you could listen to Phil Catchpole, who's 10 times better. I would choose Phil over me. Phil has got a great voice.
right,
Not
yeah,
really a competition, is it? It's
No, Phil
Leads quite heavily
Catchpole
in
is the
Phil's
voice of
favour.
Wycombe Wanderers. I would never, ever, ever be anywhere near Phil Catchpole.
although we must
James
also
finally
bring
managed
up
to get on the
the.
Wi-Fi.
Has he done it? Has he?
Yeah, he's now getting just premiering adverts everywhere, all over his computer.
Let's just see when I log into the Wi-Fi at McDonald's. Mate.
Oh God! Try on 99p cheeseburger.
No, it's now £1.25.
Is it 125?
Yeah, it's no longer a 99p cheeseburger. I was very disappointed in that.
That's a scam because I'm going over there later and I'm broke. I'm not broke. I got paid like 2 days ago.
But there is a £3 option.
There's a £3 option.
Yeah,
Oh, the 3 for £3. That is great.
Who is scranning
It is
3
very,
cheeseburgers?
very good.
It's
Really?
it's a very good offer. It is very
Oh, you
good.
should have seen me at Wrexham, mate. I look like a man possessed. Like I'd never eaten before.
A man possessed. I don't. That photo of me is horrendous. I've just put my hand up at the time.
What is he doing? What is going on?
He's vacuuming the sofa. I'm so confused. It's lucky it's very desolate down here. Otherwise, people.
I must also say it's a good job that we can no longer see the actual amount of live viewers and we just get a total count.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I
We've
think we'd have had like -2 at this stage.
How many have we?
We have bad news from Steve. This is bad.
3 for £3 wasn't on the menu. Steve, I don't know what McDonald's you're going to, but never go there again, mate.
I see. No, it's definitely around somewhere because I've had two. I don't
I'm
know if I should.
gutted. I am
my
gutted.
My recent diet, but yes, McDonald's has been very kind to me, and I was in McDonald's last Friday. There was a 3 for 3. I'm surprised I'm not fat yet.
My Premier Inn invoice has just come through.
There's a joke to be made there, but we're not going to make it for the sake of the children watching at home.
Well, in 6 minutes, the watershed would have taken place. You can say whatever you want.
We'll leave it 6 minutes and then we can make the joke because it's waiting to be made.
Do we think 10 p.m.'s the time or 11 p.m.?
I don't know
I
why.
don't think it's over. It's not over until the fat
It's
lady
not over
sings.
till I say it's over, and it's not over.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just quite glad
We have got this bit of exclusive James Richards news
Well,
that we are hinging on.
I will probably have to speak to the person who called me earlier today just to find out what was going on. But yes, I will certainly try and get some news. Let me just double check he hasn't actually signed for anyone else.
That'd be quite funny, wouldn't it?
Let me-
Just there holding the Bradford shirt or something. That was not a hint. That was just the first club that came to mind.
Can we address the death of Jolo Torre?
Yes, we can address the death of Jolo Torre.
This is incredibly sad to hear.
It is really sad.
1 year after Erling Braut Hanlon was made to retire following false rumours.
George is just disconnected from
And,
the whole thing.
well, it's just us two now.
It's just
So
us,
We're holding
alright.
the fort.
We're holding the fort.
Well, hello, everyone. George has bailed. Don't
He got
blame
that
him.
upset over the death of Jolo Torre that he's just left. I mean, look at it, the background. Look at his pot. I mean, it's just Freddie Potts. I've lost the plot. Oh, he's back again. Were you that upset over the death of Jolo Torre that you?
I had to go and blow my nose and have a quick tear.
So you left the whole thing.
I just left the studio. Yeah.
Where were we? Death of Jolo Torre. Basically, I just don't use the account anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. I want to keep it a little bit more professional, where I'm just using my journalism account from now on. And yeah, Jolo Torre is no more, unfortunately.
Is that going to be your burner account?
Jolo Torre has been deleted. It's not even an account
Oh,
anymore.
you've deleted the account?
Yeah, deleted the account.
Oh, mate.
I'm just going to be strictly using my my main account now, Jaden Wilkins FLW.
More evidence that the FIFA £3 is gone. Jolo Torre joins King Kashka in the graveyard for awful Twitter accounts.
I think Sesh Lord Cedo is the only one still standing.
Is he still going?
He must be.
Let's have a look. Sesh Lord Cedo. Sesh Lord, if you're here for whatever unknown reason,
More news about McDonald's than football so far.
well,
This is what
we could
I'd
beat
like.
us to it. You see, I
I'd
thought that the time we went live would be
How
fine.
good the signings have been so far? Because when you look at it on paper, Bloomfield said at the back end of last season that the way he wants to take Wickham forward is by using the Premier League loan market. Because when you look at the players that we signed 12 months ago, Dale Taylor from Forest, Killian Phillips from Palace, Kian Breckian, although that didn't work out for Manchester City. There is a certain pattern that he wants to go down, and we'd like to deal with fruition. The fact that Wickham have managed to sign Cameron Humphreys, to me, is mind-boggling because he's good enough to play in the Championship, 100%. And I know that's very easy for us to say after a 20-minute spell against Rotherham where he scored. But even when he was playing for Ipswich in League One, he looked like an absolute baller. And the signings that we have made today look very good on paper. So it's just about time. Bloomfield needs the time. And I think he's been very unlucky as well with the injuries. When you look at the injuries Wickham have had in pre-season, they were minimal. Fast forward to 20 days into the season, because obviously the season started on the 10th. 20 days into the season, we've now got, I think, 11 injuries, which is just insane to think. And we all know injuries are going to happen as part of the past for him. But when you've got pretty much a whole squad out, you're going to need to have reinforcements. So hopefully the signings will come good, because we have seen in the past signings just haven't turned out to be not good, but they've just not worked out. Case in point, Kian Breckian. Case in point, Saxon Early, who I believe has joined the club today.
He's gone to Lincoln.
Who just missed out on the playoffs last season. So hopefully if he stays fit, we can actually see what he can do. Speaking of which, what do you think about the goalkeeping situation? With Bishop now being out for around 2 to 3 months, which is very unfortunate for him because he hardly played last season for Sunderland, played twice this season, now he's going to be out until potentially November, December time. Do you think Franco will remain as number one, or do you think he's going to be demoted to number two again?
It's the immediate one, isn't it?
The immediate future's hard, isn't it? Because he's been playing very well. He had a very good game against Swansea, very good game against Rotherham, made several outstanding saves. And we just look very confident with Franco. I think Shamal George is a great goalkeeper, but he's going to have to come in and prove his worth to dislodge Franco, really, isn't he? But it's going to be weird when Bishop comes back for sure, isn't it? Because we're going to have 3 very good goalkeepers and only one can play. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Bishop go back to Sunderland. But it's. I think, obviously, paying a fee for Shamal George, you highly doubt he would sit on the bench if we paid a fee for him. So it all depends on how he comes in and adapts and how well he does in comparison to Franco. Because I'd imagine Franco will play tomorrow. I don't know what the situation is with registering. Obviously, I think they have to be registered by New Something. It's 12 o'clock, isn't it? Midday. And from the pictures we said earlier, George looked like he'd been signed a lot earlier in the day than he was actually announced. Yeah. So I don't know whether that was done before midday, whether the papers were signed, whether he could be in the squad for Blackpool or not. I doubt it'd be the case with Caden Taylor, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I think Franco probably should keep it for now. I think George will eventually, with Blooms, get a look at him in training as well, when he obviously hasn't seen him in training. So that'll be a huge part in who gets to keep the gloves. But I think Franco deserves to keep hold of them for now. He's looked overall steadier than Bishop in the 2 games that he's played compared to Bishop's 3. So it's I think it's fair for Franco now to try and kick on. I do feel a little bit bad for him, to be honest with you. If he's had to fend off Bishop and now he's got George to fend off as well. But I think he can keep hold of the gloves.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I know Franco came under some criticism last season, especially after what happened in the final against Peterborough, where, in my opinion anyway, I know people can disagree, which is absolutely fine. I thought he was very unlucky.
Yeah, I do.
Very unlucky. It can happen to any goalkeeper, it really, really can, and you can't really blame them entirely for it. Even with the first goal, where he got a big hand onto it, I thought he was very, very unfortunate. But you look at his record since being at Wycombe, 24 games, 12 clean sheets. He's literally kept a clean sheet every one in 2 games, which for any goalkeeper, that's a fantastic record. And for the fact that he started the season as second choice is brilliant. People forget as well that he kept 3 clean sheets in his first 3 games for Wycombe. So I wouldn't be surprised. And again, I can see why people might disagree with this, but do you think Bloomfield might alternate lead with 2 goalkeepers, or do you think he'll just stick with 1 goalkeeper?
It's a difficult one because you want one settled goalkeeper, don't you, really? But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I think maybe George will keep Franco in the league for now, and then George maybe get a game in the Pizza Trophy, or it's not called Pizza Trophy anymore, is it? Bristol Street Makers. I think he'll get a game to prove his worth in there, and maybe if he does well in that, then we could see a little bit of rotation between the 2 of them. But yeah, it's such a. Tell me this 2 days ago, I would just be, what? So I just couldn't believe we'd signed another goalkeeper, but I ain't going to complain. At the end of the day, it's a good signing. I think, like I said earlier, he's kept Striek, a very good goalkeeper, out of the Livingston side, and that eventually forced him to move on. So I think we've got 2 very good goalkeepers, and there's definitely worse problems as well.
Well, we'll talk about the fee. Can we just talk about? I don't know. I don't know if anyone's seen what happened to my car earlier. So I've been out the loop for most of the evening and afternoon because I've had to deal with that rubbish. But is it true that Jay Stansfield has gone to Birmingham for £10 million? Is that actually happening?
There are fees.
Not yet.
Agreed. They've agreed personal terms. The fees agreed.
So it is.
It's pretty much done. It's not official.
That is absolutely mental for a League One. That's never happened before, surely.
No,
never.
No. I think the record fee for League One was, I think it was like defender Clara they brought in. It was like 4.5 million.
So they've more than doubled.
Yes, they.
So Birmingham have now got 8 of the top 10 transfer fees paid in League One of all time for this
absurd,
summer.
isn't it? It's crazy.
The other 2 are Will Grigg when he went to Sunderland, and I don't know who the other one was. But they've now got 8 of the top 10, all from this summer.
They've got to win the league, surely.
Yeah, they got.
Can you imagine if they finished 7th? They would never hear the end of it. So
the thing is with Jay, I don't think he's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's a 10 million player. Then,
he scored 13 goals for them in the Championship last season in over 40 games.
Yeah,
that to me is not 10 million worth in value.
No, he hardly set the world on fire for Exeter as well, did he? The season before in League One. So.
But he did score for Fulham a few days ago against Birmingham, didn't he?
He did indeed.
Yeah, he must have known.
He's too good for League One. Let's not lie. But 10 million is ridiculous money to be thrown around for someone who's had a good loan spell and a fairly average one.
Well, Liverpool just paid 12 million for a Euros winner. So
Yeah.
Make of that what you will.
When I saw the FIFA PAs, I did think to myself, in this market, that is incredibly cheap. But then I looked at it in perspective and thinking, I've just called something £10 million cheap.
Yeah.
So
But when you put it,
For a person running around kicking a level football.
yeah,
Birmingham are only 2 million shy of being able to afford not that he would go, but buying a Euros winner, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they
Oh,
should have
why? That's Dan. Don't do this to me.
Is he having a wind up or am I getting a pipe up about?
Is he
No,
having a
that
wind
can't-
up? That's
that
not
can't-
true.
that can't be real.
Dan loves a
No.
transfer wind up.
Oh yeah, can I just specify something?
Why is there feet on my screen?
I just want to specify something very, very quickly. Back, I think it was at the end of July, start of August, there was an article going around that Josh Parker was going to resign. That wasn't written by me, okay? I never wrote that. So to the people who sent me messages on Facebook, not Twitter, but Facebook, asking me if that was real, I just had to go along with it and said, maybe we'll have to wait and see. But no, Josh Parker isn't going to resign for Wycombe for a fourth time. He is very much happy at Oxford City. And I did see him in Wycombe Town Centre not too long ago.
Yeah, he's
He lives around here, doesn't he?
yeah, he's loving
Yeah.
life. Is Josh Parker
He is
doing well at
indeed.
Oxford City?
He is indeed.
I probably not on Wycombe's radar. Let's be honest, but
No.
yeah, but you know, could happen. No, I was about to say could happen one day. Do we address the rumor that Dan's put in the chat?
I'm going to set off a party popper because it's a rumour.
Have you actually got the confetti
Yes.
can?
He's got confetti cannons.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, where
What
is
have
it?
I
I
done?
can't see it. Oh, there we are. I missed it.
Try it again.
Jaden was showing me his other things, which I can't even talk.
I was scrolling through Twitter.
Yeah, you were going for your feet.
That was not right. Do you want to see what that is? It's an advert.
for feet. What's that, Ivan Tony?
Oh my god!
No.
Oh wow! Blimey!
Yeah, at least about that the better.
Yeah, let's not go there. There's Jermaine Genius.
Let's
I'm
address
just-
Dan's
I'm
message.
just gonna put that in the group chat. What I've just seen on my feeds, just so you can look at how Aaron's turned
Oh,
up. at
Aaron's
10.
going to be.
Aaron's
turning up.
turning up. Chris is going
He
to
said,
turn up soon.
I was about to say, has he turned up? George, I'm just putting in the group chat what I've just seen on my feed.
Oh, her. She's very nice, isn't she?
That's what we were talking about. We're talking about the caption.
Oh, the caption.
Yeah, have you read the caption?
Oh, is that the latest? Here we go. There we
Yeah.
go. Okay.
Then
What's our here we go going to be when we if we announce a signing?
What did Pete say last year?
We got some breaking news.
That's fine. Breaking news in an American accent, a very heavy American accent.
Yeah, you can do it, mate.
me,
I'm not.
I
doing
can't. I
American.
can't do American. I can't do any accents really.
Go on, give us your best
I've
American.
already-
Best American accent.
Oh, while we're waiting for some signings, can we have an accent competition between the two of you? I'll shout out an accent.
No,
and-
absolutely. Not.
Oh, come on.
I used to be really good at them, but since I retired from my acting days, I decided
Retired from your accent days.
acting days. So,
What is? Oh my word! Get her signed up. I've just seen.
Oh my word! Get her signed and the memory.
He wants her on the pint-sized preview.
For the record, memories of pissed up Pete will never ever be forgotten.
No, they won't.
I genuinely don't remember.
Yeah.
He went on probably like how long did he go on for when we announced the signing of Nigel Longby?
He
went on
was
for about-
talking for a long
He was
time,
about 35 minutes.
but I don't
I'm-
mind that.
No, I thought it was.
And then he
great,
just
but-
disappeared, didn't he?
Yeah.
just
He
disappeared.
just left us mid-sentence.
Fever dream.
I didn't actually notice, but when we was announcing Saxon early, they were just all in the pub. They were all in the pub, weren't they, or somewhere?
Well, someone was sitting on the floor.
Yeah, I didn't even see like Matt Bloomfield in that there.
Oh, that reminds me. If we do sign someone, I'll turn the vacuum on.
Yeah,
So that-
the vacuum is the deadline day mascot for today. We haven't signed anyone. You can't turn it on yet.
If anyone's watching this and thinking, why the hell is the reporter from the Buxton Press taking the flipping portable vacuum cleaner into the local Premier Inn? I bought it today and it needed a charge. And I didn't feel comfortable charging it
He's cleaning the floors after the stream.
when I was absent from my house because I was involved in an incident in my car early on today. It doesn't really correlate, but it makes sense in my head. But we got here in the end. 4 hours later, we got here.
Let's talk about signings again, shall we?
Yes, we're sort of digressing.
Yeah,
How would to all the Wickham fans watching this, because they're probably thinking, why is James rambling on about such crap? What do you think of our transfer window this season, or this summer so far? Considering that we've signed less players last season compared to what we have done now, I think the transfer window this summer has been stronger.
I think it's been stronger.
It's not necessarily how many players you bring in; it's the quality. Of
I've just seen that comment. What on earth?
Blimey.
Each to their own. And Neil has asked Neil has asked one of us to do an accent from Kazakhstan. So
I don't even know what a Kazakhstan.
He's asking for a Borat accent.
Yeah, I'm not. No, that would be very, very disrespectful.
Why are me and James in the same room? Because I don't know, to be honest.
Well, we were going to go to
McDonald's.
McDonald's to do it, but we didn't want to witness a fight. So we have decided to come to the lovely local Premier Inn, which is directly opposite the McDonald's, to be fair.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to go there for a post-stream meal afterwards.
Oh, Chem Campbell has just been announced as Reading's latest signing.
Oh, it wasn't a wind-up.
No, it's genuinely.
What the fuck has Rob Couhig done to the Wolves owners to keep taking Chem Campbell off their hands?
Well, that's now when you look at the Couhigs, they've got Lewis Wing, they've now got Chem. JJ's now on their board.
Is that confirmed, is it? Or will be confirmed?
Well,
they don't even own the club yet, do they?
They don't, but it's more than likely. I mean, I'm
well,
sure.
Have you seen the statement that's come out about 10 minutes ago?
About what?
About what?
Rob Couhig has now got clearance to become the new Reading owner.
Oh, is that just come through?
They can now make signings between now and 11 o'clock.
I think Reading would have had players lined up.
They'll have people lined up.
You'd imagine so.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, it sounds like have they actually just brought in Chem Campbell?
It's a shame his second spell just didn't work out.
So Chem Campbell is a Reading player. I imagine there'll be 3 or 4 tonight over there.
They were close to getting some. Oh, who was it on loan? I can't remember. Was it a Coventry striker? Fabio Tavares?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to make a quick.
Good news for Reading.
How are you?
I'm going to make a quick phone call. So
James is making the phone call.
Well, I need to double check.
Well, yeah.
Birmingham City have agreed a deal for Jay Stansfield.
Agreed a deal for Jay Stansfield.
10 million of the King's finest.
This is an awful lot of money. James is just pacing around he's pacing around the Premier Inn. Here we go.
I'm disappointed that we haven't mentioned this yet.
You're disappointed? What?
Plans to send Declan Skura out on loan.
They've
been shelved.
Hey.
I'm disappointed no one's seen it.
Yeah, because we don't need to send Declan Skura out on loan because he's very good. My mum has actually just sent me a picture of my cat watching the stream. That is... There she is, for anyone who wants to see it. So, cheers for that, Mum. Appreciate it. Love a good Tilly update.
Yeah, let's talk about Declan Skura then, because he was superb on Tuesday.
Yeah, he's been quite a revelation, hasn't he? At centre back, I thought he was very good on Wednesday night. Won everything. Would be. I wouldn't be surprised to see him start tomorrow. To be honest with you, I think he deserves it. I think every single time he's played for us, whether it's in the Bristol Street Motors or the Carabao Cup, he's done very, very well. Like it's just about bedding him in and not really, in a league game, you don't want the occasion to get to him. And I feel like now he's had that game at Swansea, he's played against a decent Championship club. Mm-hmm. He will be absolutely fine in getting into league action. I think now is the time, really. I've heard a lot of people say that he looks more ready than Farino ever did when Farino broke through. So I don't know about that, but I think maybe it's time. We got some very good options. We've got obviously Jolo, and Taft's out for a while. We got Hartridge and Taylor, but especially when Jolo goes for the Mansfield game, he's out on international duty. If it don't get called off, of course, I think that could be the time we actually do finally see Skura in the league.
I'm trying to think, can anyone else actually get called up for international duty? Because I think we are just stuck with the two now, aren't we? In Bartolo
Not from
and Jolo.
us, and I don't think from Mansfield. So
So the game
I
will
think-
go ahead.
So,
he's got some news.
Oh.
well, no news at the moment. All very quiet, and that wasn't just for show. It was a genuine phone call. But yes, nothing new to report. But hopefully, something will come through in the next 45 minutes or so. But remember, signings can be announced after 11 o'clock. So I'm pretty sure Nigel Longboat was announced after the deadline last week.
He was indeed.
So, some players can get announced in the morning as a nice surprise. So we'll have to wait and see. But from my sources just told me that the player that they think was going to go to Wickham, it's all gone very quiet at the moment. So
Interesting.
But it doesn't mean we're not going to get any more players.
that is true.
Exactly.
It's-
Announce Freddie Ladapo, I say.
Announce Ladapo.
Yeah, because we need another striker, don't we?
Hmm.
We've got a statement from Shamal George. I say a statement, it's a tweet. I'd like to thank God for the opportunity to sign for such a special club. Nothing is possible without him. I feel this is a club with a big future, and I'm looking forward to being part of it. I can't wait to join my new teammates and meet the fans. I mean, that is what to say when you sign for a new club, isn't it?
I love him already.
A special club with a big future. Go.
And I think it's important to mention as well, during the Rafa Benitez meme, that I think that Bloomfield, and even before, even before Bloomfield became manager, Gaz was talking about how they sign players not just based on their quality but also on their attitude. And I like to think there'll be lots of players out there that Wickham have been linked with and potentially have had in the building that they've declined because of their nature. So it's good to see that we're signing players that are not, hopefully not just talented, but also good eggs that could spread that positivity. Because all you need is one bad egg to completely ruin the vibe of the dressing room, and it can cause a lot of problems. So George has disappeared.
Has George gone again?
George has. I have that.
He's gone to blow his nose again.
He has. I think he has, hasn't he? Did you
I
have
find
to?
it weird how you can drop in and out of your own live stream. It doesn't make sense to me.
Chris Spratt has just reacted to Chem Campbell signing at Reading.
What time zone is your dad in, Jaden?
What time zone is who in?
His comment has come through from 10 past midnight.
My dad watching this.
So he's either in another time zone or he's a time traveler.
He's definitely in UK time zone. What's his comment?
I'm not sure if I can. I'm not sure if it's a joke that I can't post, or whether there's genuinely a pub with that name.
What's the name of the pub?
I'm going to put it in the preview group chat, and then you can tell me if it's a real place.
It probably is. Yes, that is a real place.
Oh right. Good evening to Chris Wilkins, who is
Yes, the pub in which is called the Nog Inn. Everyone's going to find out where I live now. Go ahead.
Good evening, Chris.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
If you want my address as well, just message me. No, I'm joking.
I do have your address.
Yeah, please don't leak that one. That would be disaster.
Yeah, I don't want to dox you, mate. Especially not on a night like this. When you piss me off, I might, but not now.
Yeah, right. Save that for after a Wickham game.
Oh, we have another member of the PSP crew.
Is it Spratt? Is it Aaron?
It's not. It's not. Where
Is it
are we?
Drummond?
3-person PSP.
Right.
Good evening. Hello. Oh,
Is it Harry Ware?
Are we able to tone it up?
Oh.
We do.
move to stage. I can't. Is he there? Are you there, Aaron, or not?
We know it is. It's Aaron.
Well, I've added him to the thing, but it's not doing anything.
Oh, there goes the screen.
Hello.
George, I think you should put on one of my lovely new graphics where you try and get Aaron up.
Okay. Where are we? That one. Oh, I know.
We're not ending it.
That
Up the
one.
chest.
I would really like to know what the viewers think of this.
I'm really not sure what that is meant to be.
It's weird.
Oh, 'cause we can hear him, but I can't see him.
I just heard Aaron sneeze.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
We can
Aaron.
hear you, yeah.
It says I'm backstage on mine still. I don't know.
So I can remove you and
Oh,
I
you're
can
not,
add you
mate.
to stage and remove you. Have you got permissions turned on or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
Thomas
I
is
can show comments.
This is going well. Hello, Grandad Chris. What the fuck?
Yeah, we were just talking.
I can't make
Shall
comments.
I leave and try and come back in? Do you reckon that'll...
Yeah, let's see if
Stuck
that'll
on the
work.
screen, mate.
Oh, shout out to Tom the drummer who got 2 new Wickham tattoos yesterday. He told me earlier that he fell asleep during one of them. I don't know how someone could fall asleep during.
We start with Hello Grandad Chris on the screen. This is a disaster.
Hold on. Very sorry, Chris. Very sorry.
My dad will have a word with Chris.
Right, then.
My dad is Chris. My dad will have a word with
Whilst we wait for another potential signing to come through, why don't we just have a bit of Friday night fun?
There we are.
And speaking of fun, there he is,
the life of the party.
Mr.
Aaron.
Fresh from his holiday. Was it Italy, mate? Was it Italy that you went to?
Yeah.
I don't sound too depressed, mate. God, you can't.
Not as orange as I
No,
thought it would
it's
be.
wonderful to be back in lovely Wickham.
Mate, Wickham's the centre of Earth.
I don't know, you can join us in the Premier Inn if you want.
Mate, come down to Premier Inn.
That sounds like an offer I might say no to.
No, all right.
Join us in the Premier Inn.
Well, not. Have you seen the view outside from here? Have a look at this. Like, I mean, that is just.
The finest alleyway in the whole of High Wycombe, mate.
It is indeed. So, how's life been, Aaron?
Yeah, all good, mate. You?
Yeah, very good. I'm here with James Richards, as you could probably tell.
Everyone.
Yep.
This is so bad. Hello,
Why is he written that?
hello, Jaden Mum.
What the fuck?
Tom the drummer wants to say hello to your mum.
My mum's watching with a cat. Oh my god.
Oh,
I'm just getting
we are
humiliated
so,
in
we
front
so
of thousands of
desperately need a signing.
people. Yeah. Can we have a signing, please?
Get Matt Jackson on that.
Can you get on your speed dial to Cecil to see when it's coming?
Do you want me to hit him up?
You're going to have to. We can't go on like this for another 50 minutes.
I can't.
Oh, hang on. We've got no.
Hello, Jaden Cat. Her name's Tilly, mate.
Oh, dear.
He's on the he's on speed dial to Matt Cecil.
Is this what it was like last year when I wasn't here? I was a bit more organised.
Last year, yeah, it was a lot more organised than what we've got tonight.
Okay.
Well, I think last year's deadline day for the summer will always be remembered for that one Twitter live where every single member of the Wickham community was just in it, and nobody had a clue what was going on,
And nothing happened.
and nothing happened.
Well, that's because we thought that a certain Ikpeazu was going to be
That was
announced.
Prime
And then it
Uche.
just...
Well, we were teased with that. I was led to believe he was going to sign, and I've also been told that a player, I mean, someone of his ilk was going to sign. I was told that. I'm pretty sure he was in the building. He was in the building, and then something happened, and it didn't work out. And then he went to Port Vale. That didn't work out. Now he's back in Scotland.
We had
And that
about 2 hours of foreplay and then no action at the end of it.
2 hours of foreplay and no action. That is outrageous.
So that's
But not
quite the
wrong.
analogy. But the thing with Ikpeazu now, that ship is long gone. Like, he's not. The rumours for Ikpeazu returning are now pretty much.
He's in Scotland now, isn't he?
He is. He's at St Johnstone, I think. Now.
I think he got injured as well.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did
Oh,
before he even
poor
played again.
bloke.
Bless him. lovely bloke and very good player for us. But I think that ship has definitely sailed.
Very much.
It's incredible how certain players flourish in the right environment, isn't it?
Mm.
Think about
Imagine
some of
though,
the players we've had over the years.
I mean, we've got Dan Udo and Richard Kone up front now, both very good footballers and very good people. So
Richard Kone's goal on Tuesday or Wednesday was brilliant.
Mm.
It's the way he did it was so good. And I know some fans have been critical of Kone in recent games for not putting chances away. Some of them justifiably. I mean, the one at Wimbledon he should have buried.
it's only
I think
the
it's hard. It was harder to miss that one, surely.
I honestly, my jaw hit the floor when that happened. But every striker has that, I guess. You're going to miss a sitter at some time. But then his goal against Wrexham was so well taken.
He's just got up off the floor, isn't he, and just smashed it in.
got off
Like, yeah.
on his left foot. So yeah, I like to think he'll hit double digits this season. And you never know. I know it's silly to say, but there's nothing stopping him from playing for the Ivory Coast. So.
Fred to win.
Fred.
Should we talk about Edinburgh for 2 minutes?
Excuse me.
No, we're not getting him back, are we? Let's be honest. But
The stranger things have happened. He is still
Yeah.
a free agent at the end of the day.
as far as we know as well, shirt number 19 is still available.
There we go. Freddie Potts is gone, so there's only one man who can take it.
Yeah, Fred.
Fred has been linked with moves to Reading and Burnley, but whether they actually
Reading and Burnley.
yeah.
That's a
Dude,
weird.
what?
What?
Yeah.
Anthony
So-
Stew.
I've never heard of him.
Anthony Stew. He is without a club, so
That is true.
Not
stranger
entirely
things have
sure
happened.
who he
Although
is.
That's Anthony Stewart. This is Anthony
Oh,
Stew.
Anthony
He's
Stew.
the non-league legend who once played for Didcot Town.
Oh, really?
So yeah, he did. Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
Marcus White, Kone was my 201 to be top League One goal scorer at the beginning of the season. Well, he's got one goal so far, so hopefully
Charles June.
it's hopefully all right.
Not Charles Dunn, Charles Dune.
Not Charles, yeah. He's going to make an appearance in the next
No
episode.
opportunity for the
for
confetti
God's
cannon. Yeah, I'm
sake.
sorry. I'm sorry. You can blame James for that.
Oh,
He's been ribbing us all day about this signing coming in. It's not
I
happening.
haven't been
I
anyone.
just wanted to come to the confetti cannon.
The confetti cannon has got your name on it, but not yet.
Oh,
Where is it? Where have all these
if I
rumours
don't
come
get
from?
to confetti cannons now, I might cry.
This Marcus Brown one is a weird one because I've
I've
not
never-
seen
I've
anything
not
about
heard
it all day.
No.
The only thing I've seen is Adam Cooper woke up, said he'd been linked. I think it was in a dream. I think he's jumped about Marcus Brown,
Yeah, it's
and
just
then
I
because
don't
I've not
know.
seen it anywhere.
James is currently in the DMs with Jason McCarthy.
I forgot you can see everything I'm doing.
Yes, I can.
So yeah, I forgot.
Oh, can we get
Just
Jason
wanted to
McCarthy on the
mention
point
that.
size
Thank you
preview?
very much.
Yeah, Jason McCarthy on the front side preview.
He has a game in nearly 12 hours. It'll be very rude of me to.
I've got commentary in 12 hours.
He's all right to message James Richards, though, isn't he? Yeah.
That is true. Journalists never sleep.
I don't. I won't be sleeping tonight. Got a nice 5 a.m. start. Looking forward to it.
Right, so anyone watching this, who's making a trip up to Blackpool?
Just me out of us four. And
Yes, I sadly can't make it. I've been put on news duty, so I'll be back home at
I
base.
like bloody work, ruining our away days.
Well, this is technically work as well, but due to the staff shortages at the Bucks Free Press, news needs to be written, and I am the man to provide it.
The news never sleeps.
It really doesn't. News is like an airport.
oh my god, the motion sensor light just came on outside and it just scared the life out of me.
Other than three of Wickham's new signings coming in to join us.
Yeah.
Just putting their Coronas down by the bin and walking in, so it's all good.
Cheer, boys.
Right then, we need to try and save this stream. We have 31 minutes until.
This stream's been excellent.
I'm coming back.
Okay.
Hello.
At
Get
10:59.
Hannah on the stream. Yeah, get Hannah on.
Save it.
Hannah
They,
might-
they got you on the stream.
Who did?
Everyone.
The pint size preview debut.
We're live to apparently 953 people.
What do you mean they
No.
all want me here?
Well,
950.
953.
so StreamYard is just fucked. Excuse my French. Where it no longer shows the live viewers. It just shows the total amount of people who have clicked on the stream. But it does say live viewers, 954. Five
So
of which are on YouTube, and 950 of which are on X.
So more people are watching us now than the whole of MK's fan base. That's from
Yeah.
I can't sit here though for this amount of time because I'll just do it. My impulse.
If you
on
put all these
doing
viewers in Stadium MK, it'd be a record attendance.
it. Can't say that.
So then, let's predict our final signing. George, what are you going with? For no reason whatsoever.
Victor Osimhen.
Victor Austin.
Just because it's been going on throughout the summer and nothing's happened yet.
He's actually been
So-
poached by Wickham.
Clearly,
PSA,
he's waiting for Wickham to come in for.
we
We've
can
got the money.
we can still sign players after today with free agents. Case in point, Lyle Taylor. So I think we just need to remind ourselves that whilst the deadline has passed, we can still sign free agents. And I wouldn't be surprised if Wickham were to sign someone in a few weeks' time on a very short contract just to make up the numbers. Similar to what we did with the goalkeeping situation last year with Nathan Shepherd, who never played for us. But he was brought
Who
in.
is Scott Dunn? Oh, Scott Dan.
It's not down. The real ones will remember the Yves Makalambe signing in the middle of, what was it, October?
In October. His backstory is insane.
Eves was a legend.
His
Someone
back-
mentioned it, but I can't remember it. We might have to have a story time.
Well, I will happily. Do you want me to share it on Twitter? Matt Cecil has responded back. He said, "I've not seen a second, I'm afraid, of our stream,
That's probably a good thing.
which would indicate."
Yeah, tell them to avoid at all costs.
Yeah.
I think you got to ask him the question, mate.
Should we stay up or go to bed?
Should we end the stream? Oh,
What have I missed?
I mean, normally he's good to us, and he does say when we're done for the day. So I am holding out hope.
Matt's very good to us all the time.
Yeah.
MK Slam. That's cute, James. You use Grammarly on WhatsApp.
I do use Grammarly because we type so fast. The amount of Wickham fans that send, well, not even Wickham fans, out of BFP readers who will get in saying wrong, which is good. We need to be kept on our toes. When it's your own dad. You know,
It's your own dad.
Right.
Nobody wants to see that at all.
Yeah, no, that's no one.
Harrison has just said, if Brown is signing, I'm running down the street naked. Well, please don't
Let
do
me
that.
know what street so I can avoid it.
And I don't want
One
to be
outside your hotel window.
Yeah. I don't
Come
want to be
steal
running about
in the alleyway.
course.
Does Marcus Brown really warrant that reaction?
I don't think he's that big a deal.
No.
Okay, so which player would warrant that reaction then?
Piss off, Harry. I've just seen his message.
He's just angrily going onto Twitter to reply to it. Oh,
So, talking about Yves, his backstory is insane. So, I'll happily share the story I
What
did
charge
about
are we
it on Twitter.
97%.
So, long story short, he was playing for this club in Romania, and it was ran by gangsters to the point where he was held hostage. And he witnessed one of his teammates get shot in the dressing room because there was a lot of match fixing. The striker was told to not score. He scored, I think not once but twice. I could be wrong on that. And he made the gangsters who owned the club lose a lot of money to the point where they then came in at half time and shot him in the knee. And then Yves eventually left the club, I think maybe 3 or 4 months later, and he travelled back from Romania to England via road. He didn't catch a plane. He ended up catching taxis, coaches, and buses. And now he works as a personal trainer, I believe.
That is nuts.
So I will
Absolutely
share
nuts.
the story on Twitter, and he did make a YouTube video about it. I will also attach the YouTube video as well.
Because he was at Chelsea once upon a time, wasn't he?
He was Chelsea's fourth choice goalkeeper.
Hibernian as well.
Was
Was
it
that
him?
before or after the gangster incident?
Oh, well, so he joined Wickham a few months after the gangster incident.
So
Wickham,
how the hell would you go from Chelsea to being in the team at the back arse of Romania run by gangsters?
so I've got his career history here. I mean, it's a valid question, to be fair. So he started off at PSV, went to Chelsea, was there for 4 years, had a loan spell at Watford but didn't play, went to Hibs where he played just over 50 times in 3 seasons, was at Swansea, and that was the year they got promoted to the Premier League, had a season with this Belgium team, then had 2 seasons at Royal Antwerp, then he went to this Romanian team called, give me a moment, Otolol Galaci, where he played twice in the league in 2015, and then he left after a few months, and then he joined Wickham 2 years later. I honestly believe the psychological impact he had in Romania must have really messed him up. And Wickham obviously offered him a lifeline 2 years later and just said, look, we're here if you want to. But I remember when he was at Wickham, he was always riding a bicycle. I don't know if anyone said, but he was always riding an exercise bike Did I make this up?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
I do vaguely remember there being an exercise bike dragged out by the dugout once, but I don't know who it was or.
I need to try and find this now. Liam O'Rourke, such a nice guy, always had time for everyone. Liam, you called, you said the BFP sucked. I am not listening. But he
Here's
is
one for you, Jaden, as well.
And he, please bring him home.
I don't.
The Marcus Brown rumor, not a clue. Like, I haven't even seen anything about that. I don't know where this has come.
I think it's all in Adam's head. It must be.
Adam's having us on, I reckon.
This is the heroes' plot to get back at us for last year's deadline day.
Why have you just searched up Wickham #chairboys?
Because there's always going to be look, my place. The bad thing comes.
Just your car.
Yeah, I don't know why that comes up. I'm expecting something to happen in the next 22 minutes.
So am I.
I'm going to give my person a call again soon to see what they say.
Get on the blower.
Get on the. Yes, I thought you were going to say something else then, but yes.
Oh dear.
All right then. What would you say then in recent? Okay, let's just say post-COVID. So the year that we were back in League One, 21-22, to now, who would you say was the worst signing Wickham have made? Worst doesn't necessarily need to be they played badly. It's just it didn't work out, or they never played, and it was a waste of a signing.
I don't know how to answer that.
What are we saying? Worst signing. Just
Worst signing.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be how badly they played. It could also be the case of they just never played because they were injured. Because sometimes that happens.
Yeah. I mean, Nathan Bishop's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Nathan Bishop.
Oh, poor bloke.
The
He's not watching.
left back, Saxon Early, the guy we signed from Plymouth that's joined Lincoln today.
Good player. Just
He came in and then got injured in a week or something, don't know.
Never
Richard
played.
Logan.
Never
Excellent.
played.
if we're talking in terms of player who played, who wasn't very good,
I've got one that's sticks in mind.
Ian Brecken,
I'll tell you that.
Lyle Taylor's.
Lyle Taylor.
George has gone to Lyle
Oh.
Taylor's again.
Lyle Taylor was going to be. Yeah, Saxon early, and that's nothing against him as a guy because he's probably a lovely chap. He's never played.
Luke
did he?
Bolton wasn't great. Jack Williams, that's a good one.
I was going to say Luke Bolton. The hype that he came with as well.
I think we should just stay well away from Man City.
Oh, Adam Prisbeck.
I remember
God,
Prisbeck.
That's a throwback, isn't it?
Yeah.
I always
We have
thought,
had some rare old goalkeepers over the years.
I remember in the game we played Ascot in the Bucks and Bucks Club, and Prisbeck just looked so nervous. He just looks so nervous, bless him. I don't know where he is now.
He's out in Poland, isn't he?
No, he's in Wales, I think, isn't he?
Oh, well, he
Oh,
hasn't
did he
had.
come back over? I know he went over to Poland for a bit.
Yeah,
If
I think
he's
he's
in-
in the Welsh League.
If he's in Wales and Harry hasn't told us this, that's very, very disappointing. Oh, look, I'll speak of the devil. He's at Pennybond. Is that how you say it?
Does he just know every Welsh club on the planet?
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
How does he do it?
Dan, that's it.
Dan speaking his mind.
Yeah, Dan doesn't care.
I can only assume that's one of Airbus's rivals.
Yeah, no, Dan loves a bit of Airbus, doesn't he?
He does. I'm tempted to chuck the StreamYard link out on Twitter to see who we get waiting to join.
Tom,
Please
mate.
don't. Look at the comments.
put it on screen, George.
Yeah, please share that. because I think the
Right,
whole-
let's do it. I'm feeling generous. It's transfer deadline day. We'll bring people in for a 3-minute stint to speak their mind.
Everyone is
oh,
able to
fuck.
have their
I
say.
just
We're bringing people. I'm sat on the toilet.
let's
Oh,
get
Yeah, let's not.
let's get
I
topless
read-
Tom.
I
on
don't
the
know why,
street.
but when he said I'm sat on toilet, I read it like Borat. I don't
Oh.
know. I don't know why. Oh,
Let's
right.
see who we can get. Is this a bad idea?
Yeah,
Wait,
probably.
Yeah, this is a terrible idea, but we'll do it.
It could be
I'll
fun.
delete the tweet in a minute. It's deadline day.
Have you seen any Readings just signed? Special sign codes in the building. Is that Chem? If that's a Chem Campbell one, James, then yes.
Always believe in your soul. You've
It
got the
is,
power.
yeah.
to
Look
know.
at it. Oh, God.
You're indestructible. Are we really going to bring on Tom in front of a
There we
thousand
go.
people on the toilet?
Yes, we are.
Oh,
Why are
no,
you joining the chat?
Because I think it's important that people know what we have to say.
Mate,
Right,
Don't-
the tweet is out there. We're going to get a list of a line of people at the bottom waiting to join in. We're going to give everyone a minute or two.
the minute then you get booted off.
Do you know what they
regardless.
do?
Yes,
during, like,
exactly that.
During what,
So
general
basically,
elections,
we're doing
they get-
speed dating.
pretty much, well, I was going to say general election roundup. 30 seconds and once 60 seconds, and once they're done, boom, goodbye, bin them off.
Yeah.
We're not going to bin anyone off here because we're all part of the same family. Sure, boys. Right.
Mate, you're an arse.
I'm like, yes, I am an Arsenal fan, but
He's a Beaconsfield fan.
it's
Aaron.
hard not to. It's hard not to have a association. Well, it's not to have affiliation with stuff that you actually like. Them.
We're going to set up. Where
Sarah
are
hated
we?
me
Yeah,
during
30
the
second
season
time.
that I was engaged to.
Why?
Because she was like, oh, can we go to a wedding fair? No, sorry, babe, going up to Barnsley. Oh, do you want to do something romantic? Yeah, you can go to Bolton with me if you want. Accrington Stanley away that season was on Valentine's Day. And I spent it with Sam Avery.
Well, she still married you, so.
Yeah.
Look, what would you rather do? Spend time at home with your fiance, or spend time in Accrington with Sam Avery? I know which one I'd choose.
I mean, I did do the latter. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so it's not like I walked like. So, I mean, it was a very lovely evening. Shared a pie. No, we bought,
So
like-
Sam's a lovely guy. Yeah.
he's a lovely chap. I hope Sam's watching this.
I hope Sam's
I really
watching
hope
this. He's
Sam's
probably going to be
watching this.
concerned that I'm commentating with him tomorrow and I'm still up.
I think Sam's far too professional for all this
Oh,
jazz.
Sam is probably one of the most. Sam is actually one of the most professional people I've ever met. If you see his notepad of stats, it is absolutely insane. He draws all the formations out, and I don't know if he still does it, but he used to draw the flag of every single player's nationality with coloured pencils.
I'm very excited to see
So-
Sam in action.
Yes, I'm going to message him actually. You're getting a lot of love.
He's just going to read that.
He's probably in bed. He's probably tucked in bed with a.
He
hot
probably
chocolate
is
or
ready. He's ready for bed.
something. He is. Right.
He's
Oh,
singing.
he's opened it. He's opened it.
What? Bad idea.
All right then. So everyone who hasn't logged off yet because we're boring you to sleep. What?
Have you got anyone in the waiting room yet?
We have.
Well-
Right, let's get
I've
some.
got an idea who two of them
Well,
might be. The message I've just received.
We've got a man with no camera on, so I'm not sure what to expect from him. But he's going to get 30 seconds.
Oh, God, it is,
We've
isn't
got
it?
to give him a question.
All right then. Which sign is he most satisfied with?
I can't join him. He's not got a camera. I can't add him.
Are
So
we
we'll go to
talking about-
Liam instead.
Okay,
I can't
Liam-
add WWFC drummer. I'm not entirely sure who that is, but I can't add him.
I think we have a clue.
It's Ollie Costello.
Oh, he's actually there. Right, 30 seconds, Tom, to tell us which summer signing you're most excited to see.
Why is there drum and bass?
Why can't we see him again?
Tom, can you hear us?
Tom,
It's not Tom, is it?
Yeah, you're
it is.
30
I can
seconds
see
in
him.
the
I can see his face.
No.
now.
I was going to say, I know he likes coming on things and playing music out loud. And drumming.
House recently, he's got a cat.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Well,
Can you hear
we
me
can
use
hear
it?
the song.
Yeah, yes, we can hear the. Yes, we can. Tom.
Is that like his entry
Then
music? He's
really,
going to do a ring walk
really
here.
bad.
Drum and bass.
Drum and bass.
Not here for the riddle, maybe just a little. Jump in the middle, eyes on me like I'm blowing in the whistle. The crown like a John, I could take the throne if you wish to. Blow like a tissue, yeah, I do miss you. Yeah, we could.
Nothing's going on.
And that's
He's
30
alarmed.
seconds done.
Who let Tom on this stream?
And can I say, Ben, I'm so glad you went to that game. Josh Scow and Gareth McCreary with the goals. It was a brilliant night. And there was a handful of Wickham fans up there on a Tuesday night as well.
I
Steve
did Accrington our first season in League One, and it's one of my favourite away games.
Have we got any other people in the waiting room?
Yes. 30 seconds. Now I need a question for Liam O'Rourke. Why do you hate the BFP?
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
There you
Right,
go.
Liam,
Yes,
why do you
yes,
hate the BFP? 30 seconds starting now. Oh, I can't see him again. I don't know what's going on.
I'm here.
We can
I
hear
can
you,
see
we just
you.
can't see you.
That's
You've got
That's probably
18
not a good idea if you'd
seconds now.
anyway. Because it sucks. That's just that's the reason. It just sucks. There you go. Nice and easy.
I'm never selling you a shirt again.
These alarms going off.
But I
And
appreciate
that's my 30-second timer.
In all seriousness, Liam, I do appreciate the feedback because without the
Oh,
feedback,
Ben
the coaching
Dunlop's
line-
just reminding me of that moment.
You can't win them all.
we- the highlight of that act, it was DJ throwing his mobile phone. Oh, dear me. Wickham away days are brilliant. Leighton Orient last year will live long in the memory.
It will live long in the memory. DJ's famous video before the game that will never be shared.
I mean, you say this, the people out there won't know what video they were referring to.
Yeah, there was a
There was a very questionable video that DJ has sent us in the pint-sized preview, and we genuinely cannot publish it because if we did, let's just say people be knocking on DJ's door, and we might be
His
questioned
door
as
kicked in.
potential associates with him. So
I think the police might turn up at DJ's door.
I think they would.
Shit.
He
I
will,
don't think it'd just be the police.
it will be. I think the FBI, Interpol, everyone.
DJ's prospects of getting a job won't be looking good after that. So for his sake, we're keeping that under.
We've got. Who is on the Interpol website? Actually, now I've got to look.
Should we have a look at the FBI's top 10 most wanted?
Yeah, DJ might be on.
DJ might be on there.
Well, no, honestly, I kid you not. If that video ever gets published,
He'll be on there.
DJ will be on there. Honestly, it's not good. It's not good at all. You'll have
Crime Agency most wanted.
Here we go.
That is not Wickham DJ, thankfully.
No, it's not.
No one has noticed it down there yet.
He'll definitely be on that list when they find out what's in his wardrobe.
Oh yeah, the body's in his wardrobe.
Evening, Dan.
Evening.
Welcome to the Point Size Preview.
Oh,
there
Dan's
he
here.
is,
Hello.
Mr. Dan Clark.
Is that Wayne Rooney? Oh, no.
Which way? That one?
Yeah.
No, that Derek.
This was meant to be a deadline day stream, but I'm not sure what's going on.
Right then.
He looks a bit like Wayne Rooney.
So we're currently on the Interpol website trying to work out whether or not DJ's crime in that video is worthy of being on this list. And to be fair, a lot of drug dealers, a lot of murderers. But to be fair, what DJ did say, let's just stop. Let's just stop. To anyone watching this, if you want to know what DJ said, just ask him, but ask him privately.
Ask him privately.
Yeah, Dan, are you familiar with said video about Deej?
I have the video in my favorites folder on my iPhone, and I regularly bring it out, along with other Photoshop edits that we have of DJ as well. Yeah, so
he really needs a lot of ammunition, doesn't he, DJ?
Well, that's a very good pun, which will give the listeners and viewers at home an idea of what the video was about.
What, ammunition?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. How have we got onto Wickham? It's 10 minutes to deadline, then we're talking about Wickham DJ.
Right then, where is DJ?
Where is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is DJ?
Probably on the run.
Because he's in Liverpool, isn't he? Based in Liverpool. I'm really disappointed that.
I think we might have someone else backstage that might be a good addition.
We've got someone else backstage. Let me move to the 5-person background. I have to apologise. I'm not sure who this is, so he'll have to introduce me to himself. We've got John J, who again I can't see.
Hey. Hi, George. Hi, gang. How's it going?
How's it going? I can't see you. You might have to leave the studio and come back in, because that worked for Alan.
You need to see your face, sir.
Alright,
It's
hold on. I'll leave and
away from
Oh, there we go.
away from Gibraltar. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
How can we help you?
Fucking hell, James. How many beers have you had?
The ironic thing is I don't drink, so it's all good.
He's had too many non-alcoholic
I've had
beers.
too many hot chocolates, mate. I've had that.
All right. For anyone who doesn't know me, I run the WWFC Gibraltar account.
I had an inkling.
I met you at Leighton Orient, I believe.
You did.
Yeah,
you
it
did.
was at that
Yeah,
table
you didn't
when
recognise me.
Drummond bought us that petrol drink.
Oh, yeah. When I went to go and get some drinks with DJ, and suddenly my beer tasted like petrol when I
Yeah,
came back.
because he poured about that much in it.
Yeah, cheers, Drummond. Appreciate it.
Anyway, cheers.
Has this become a therapy session?
James needs therapy.
Not
for this.
that I know of. How can we help you? This ain't the therapy service.
Harry, you can copy what Ben
yeah, I was
says.
going to say,
now,
Harry, be original.
original.
Harry's giving me shade in the group chat.
Ben said
be
it first,
brave
Harry.
and publicly shame me, Harry. Hiding in Wales. He's in Wales, isn't he?
He's probably in Wales.
Or is he back in Banbury? Who
I don't
cares?
know.
John, what do you think of the signings so far today, then?
Do you know what? I want to say, and I've said this to Dan a couple of days ago, I think overall, when you look at what Matt has done in the transfer window, not just this window, but all the windows so far, I think the players that he's brought in has been unreal. I mean, we saw the impact that the two lads that came on Saturday have had. And then you look at the quality of players like Luke Leahy and Butcher and Kone and just the whole picture overall. I think he's done some unreal signings over, the year and a half, 2 years that he's been there. So, and I know that it is slightly different to what Gareth had, because a lot of the time Gareth was working on a shoestring budget. But sometimes it's almost harder to have the money to splash. And then you can go out and get people that really don't fit the mold or don't quite fit in. But I think so far, it's very hard to name a dud that he's brought in, really, isn't it?
So on paper, it seems to go in all right. And I think as well, what he's done is he's given the youngsters a chance. I mean, for example, Jayden Bartolo, Gibraltar international. I didn't think he'll be going straight into the first team, and there he is making his debut at Wrexham.
Yeah, I was really surprised as well. I mean, he's been on the bench for pretty much every game, right? And I mean, we haven't really seen much of what he can do yet, but yeah, it's promising that these young players are getting the opportunities. You never know what they can turn into. We've seen it with Mehmeti and Farino. It doesn't always work out, right? Like, obviously, we had TJ DeBar. He had some chances. He did okay. He ended up going back to Jib. And that's fine. It doesn't. It's a low investment, high kind of return situation, right? If they come good, then fantastic. And if they don't, then you're not really losing out too much with those younger players. So fingers crossed for me personally, and for Jayden, that he will come good, but it doesn't always work out.
Do you not think that Jayden might be our bit of international wild card? You know, just when we got too many injuries and we fancy a bit of a postponement, we've got Jayden in our back sleeve, and that's why he's been playing. Not because he's any good or anything. It's just because, do you know what? He's one of our main players.
He's a regular. We can't do it without him. Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah, because you gotta have him. Got to have him. Yeah,
sorry, man.
I think that's what it is.
It's a good shout. To be honest, I'm based in Jib. I go and watch a lot of local games. Jayden's been based in the UK for pretty much his whole professional career. Obviously, he played for Wealdstone. He's only made a couple of appearances for the Jib national team so far, so I've not really seen a lot of him.
He's from Slough.
I would say I know as much as you guys in terms of how much we've seen of him, but we do have some friendlies coming up and Nations League games against Andorra and San Marino, which will be 10 minutes down the road from me. So hopefully he'll get some minutes there and can give some actual feedback on how he's looking. But obviously it's tough as well to judge, right? You've got someone playing against San Marino. How does that match up in terms of against League One quality? But we'll see.
I was going to ask, actually, what was the reaction of TJ returning to Gibraltar, and what was the general consensus of his time in England in Gibraltar? Because I know from our perspective, he had that brief spell at the start of Bloom's reign where he was starting several games, worked hard. You can't question his work ethic, but he just wasn't what Wycombe needed, unfortunately.
No, I mean, TJ is one of those players that he'll give everything when he's on the pitch, right? And in terms of, as a young kid who's always been based over here, moving to the UK, I don't want to speculate, but maybe it was a culture shock but I mean, all the interviews and stuff and times when I've spoke with him, I think anyone else that's had any interactions with him, you can only say he's a quality human being, you know?
No, he's a good guy.
So that's that. In terms of how Gibraltarians viewed it, I mean, obviously we've not had a lot of players who have ever really played in the Football League. We've never had anyone playing in the Championship or Premier League since for a long, long time, right? So this was kind of like our star kid getting a chance. So obviously Gibraltarians want to see him play every week, but that's just not how it works, right? So all super proud of him, you know, when he scored that winner in the League Cup game scored the equaliser in the League Cup game and scored the winner penalty. All super proud, but when it doesn't work out. And I've seen him around and about. I've been to a couple of Lincoln games. They've obviously been playing their Champions League, Europa League qualifiers, and he's super happy being back here. So that's what it comes down to on a personal level for me, right? He went there, gave it a go, it didn't work out. He's come back, he's got his family here, he's got his partner here, and he's playing for it now back at a club that he grew up playing with and he loves. So I don't think, from what I could tell, I don't think there's any hard feelings there, and certainly from Gibraltarians, you know, he gave it a crack and it didn't work out. So that's how the game goes, you know.
I think we need to get the flag of Gibraltar at Adams Park. I know we've got the Congo flag for Lubala, and I know there was a St. Lucian flag for Chris when he was there. So we should try and get a Gibraltar flag at Adams Park if there's not already one.
Well, it's National Day here in a couple of weeks, so Gibraltarians celebrate National Day second Tuesday of September. So, well, yeah, it's in a couple of weeks here. So I've got a flag flying outside my window now. But once National Day is done, next time I get over for a game, I'll leave one down at AP. We've had TJ, we've had Jayden. I think we probably had the most Gibraltarian representation of the Football League in a long time. As well as we did it with Joe Jacobson and Scott Cashgate with the Jewish connection. Now we've got the Gibraltarian connection. We're just trying to nail all these small little areas.
And is it true, TJ, he's a couple goals off becoming Gibraltar's all-time record goal scorer? If I read that correctly.
Yeah, it's a really tricky area to explain because we only got FIFA accreditation a few years ago. I don't know the exact time, but it's 10 to 15 years. So there were games that were played. We didn't play international games like we do now. We would play like games against smaller islands who weren't maybe FIFA regulated or UEFA regulated before my time here. So maybe if you had an actual Gibraltarian on the show, then he'd give me more information. But there were games played, and I don't know, the results weren't recorded or it wasn't an official game. So TJ is right up there with I think it's Lee Casciado, who's still playing for Gibraltar at 42 now, who's the leading goal scorer. But TJ will break that record for sure, because it's quite a short history of our time as an official nation in terms of international football. So yeah, TJ will get there.
Sounds good.
It is worth saying it is now 11 o'clock, which means the deadline is officially upon us. But no go to bed tweet yet.
We're not going to bed yet.
No, I don't plan to. I will have to do my Duolingo if I want to keep up. I need one day off 200 days. Wow, so I need to do it.
What are you learning, James?
I'm learning French at the moment.
You know what? I'm half tempted to walk across to McDonald's and get some grub.
Go ahead, mate.
That tyre blowout's really affected him today, hasn't it?
Hey?
It really has, mate. It's thrown me off. Which is ironic because my car got thrown. So, there he is. Are you on the floor?
Always
Yeah.
on the
He's on the
Where
floor
else would he be?
enjoying it.
He's had that.
What you don't know is that Chris doesn't have any chairs in his house. It's like an anti-IKEA.
He did,
Yeah.
and I'm 2 minutes late.
That Victorian England.
Christmas dinners around yours must be great, just sitting on the floor in the kitchen.
What, with
And no
mayonnaise?
gravy, only mayonnaise. Yeah.
Our whole yearly budget is spent on mayo. We can't afford any chairs.
Who did you at the sponsors dinner? Who were you sitting with? Which player were you sitting with when you had a long conversation about mayonnaise?
Jason McCarthy.
Jason McCarthy. That was it. Oh, Jaden's just gone. Do they have anything for the 3 for 3 thing? Yeah, if you want. I'll keep the boys entertained. Yeah, I'll do that. All right then.
Jay Stansfield's just gone to Birmingham. That is ridiculous for League One.
I mean, how are you supposed to compete with that?
That's our Steve Marley to Fulham moment for League One. That give it another 20 years and that's League Two, 10, 11 million. I'm telling you now.
Because it just inflates everything for everybody else, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's an unbelievable. Do you know what now? I really hope they bottle it. Because imagine spending nearly 30 million and not getting out of League One. I just want to see it just for the fun now.
This is what I always hoped when they first came up, was that they would bottle it like, we've seen Sunderland, Portsmouth, Bolton, all these big clubs that come down to League One, splash some cash and don't make it straight back up. But having seen them in the flesh, well, at least on Wanderers TV, and how well they've done. I know they struggled in their first game, but they do look the real deal, don't they? Sadly to say.
But they're splashing the cash and they're spending 25 million.
Yeah, of course. You would hope it all goes tits up, but it doesn't look like it will.
But see, Jay Stansfield to League One isn't that big a surprise, really. He didn't set the world on fire at Championship level, did he, last year? 9 million is a ridiculous amount for anyone to spend, and you wouldn't get a Championship club spending that as well. I think it actually probably suggests more that longer term Birmingham's transfer strategy isn't going to work. It may well get them out of this division, but even that I'm not convinced as well. Surely there's better ways to spend the money.
You've got Billy Gilmore going to Napoli for 11 million. Like Jay Stansfield from Fulham to Birmingham has cost more than Billy Gilmore from Brighton to Napoli. It's just, it's a problem. It is a problem.
Transfer fees are only ever determined by two things. One, how much a club is prepared to spend, and also how much another club is prepared to accept. Now, Fulham are in a really fortunate position with Jay Stansfield that they know that they're in no rush to sell him as well. He's not going to push to move out of the club. and Birmingham were in this desperation to be able to buy him as well. But they can almost set whatever price they want. If Birmingham is stupid enough to pay that for somebody who, it's very hard to see what they're going to get any resale value from, and unless he develops in a way that I don't think any of us have seen yet, and is able to propel them through the league, then actually it's going to be money wasted. I mean, George, you mentioned the 10 players, like the biggest siders in League One. 8 of them were Birmingham. You said one was Will Grigg. Who was the other?
Let's have a look. I mean, even in the Championship, 12 million would rank quite highly, wouldn't it?
Yeah, of course it would.
But you see that Will Grigg signing as well, that was fairly early on in Sunderland's days, wasn't it? And that was definitely in the season where they weren't successful.
It was in the winter transfer window, wasn't it? Because it was on the Sunderland Till I Die show on Netflix. So they were basically struggling to get someone in. They didn't want to pay. Was it 5 million? They didn't want to pay that much money, and then last minute in the transfer window, they ended up sucking it up and paying it. But I mean, they weren't happy about it. But that was like that was like all of their budget, right? It's like Birmingham were just like, 10 mil, whatever, it doesn't matter. That's who we're going for, and that's the price we're prepared to pay.
Well, it was, but there's a reason why Birmingham got down into League One, and it's because of ridiculous decisions being made over time as well. Even last year, there were ridiculous decisions in changing from John Eustace. Really unfortunate what happened with Tony Mowbray, but then the decision with Bruni, it was all just ridiculous decisions as well. It's one thing having the money, but time will tell. They were very good when they played us, but I mean, they've now got a forward line, haven't they? They've got Jay Stanfield, Alfie May. They signed somebody else up front today as well, didn't they?
Lyndon Dykes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got May, Dykes, and now Jay Stansfield up front. I mean, unless they're playing like how they used to in the 1910s when they had like 5 up front, I don't know how they're going to set up, are they, if they're going to get everyone in?
They'll find a way.
They just sent Liam Roberts out to Northampton. But
that's a championship lineup, isn't it?
I mean, how do you keep them all happy? They are the Chelsea of League One.
Yeah. This is what we've got to compete with.
If you've got the money, spend it on who you want, but it just makes it so much more difficult for everybody else.
The thing is, Dan said that we could spend like this, but it's not smart to, is it? That's not the way to build a football club.
I can't see why you would come out and publicly say that you can spend that money and then not spend. I mean, obviously we spent a little bit today, but not spend a penny of it. It seems odd to say we've got this money, we can spend it, and then not spend it.
I think that's a mistake to say something like that. I know they want to flex a bit, but I don't think that was the smartest thing to say. Obviously, it's a public forum as well. I don't know. I don't like it.
It begs the question as well with the Wire Do news this morning. They know that we've got money to spend. So would they be tempted to accept that money from someone else?
I want to say, I mean, I've just seen James's message. James put his glasses on, something serious about happened. I was just getting a pounding headache. So I wish I could tell you something. There is a guy that is giving me information, but at the moment, from what I've been told, it's very quiet, very, very quiet. So I don't know if that's just a myth or not. I'm waiting for a Cecil Office tweet. That's what I'm waiting for.
If we were to bring someone in, what would be the position that you guys would want to see filled?
Well, I did say earlier. Funny enough, I was talking to Tom the drummer earlier, actually, and I said
that was fun.
Yeah, I got him. It was not long before the incident with the pothole, actually. So I said goalkeeper, and lo and behold, we got a keeper today, which I think was needed following the injury to Nathan Bishop. Other than that, I think we're good. Maybe a centre back potentially, but I think what's good is that it looks like we're not going to get rid of Declan, because there were strong rumours he was going to go out on loan. So
Well, as you can see, those plans were shelved.
Yeah, I think everyone's been very impressed with Declan so far, right? The little bits and pieces that we've seen of him, he looks like someone who could slot in given the opportunity.
Usually Jack Young's good for a loan out about this time now, isn't he? I mean, the fact is as well, he's the age he is, he's taking up a space if he's not going to be playing in the first team or anywhere near it. So who knows? Maybe that's still due to happen.
So what do you guys think? Come on, Chris.
Well, I'll just changing it because George has asked this question several times. No one ever listens to him when he asks it. George, fingers for toes or toes for fingers?
I'm glad I gave you the floor now. That was definitely worth it.
Yeah, no, I apologize.
I was going to ask.
I believe Jack Young's in the last year of his contract as well. When he joined because he joined just before the playoff final, didn't he, in 2022, I think it was. He signed a 3-year deal, and I've been quite surprised that he hasn't left earlier, to be honest. So I'm quite surprised he hasn't really been given an opportunity. And I agree with James. It's a very confusing thing because, and this might sound very stupid, but he's got a relatively high squad number in number 15. He was signed on a 3-year deal, and he's hardly played in nearly 3 years. So a very odd scenario. But he was in the squad for the Wimbledon game last week. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back out on loan to a side in the National League or in Scotland like he did last season. But this is his last season at Wycombe, unless he gets sold in January or something.
I was going to ask, so obviously we brought in Shamal. Ravazoli's done amazing since Bishop's been injured. Every time we've seen him, he's done really well. His clean sheet record is amazing. But then we've spent money on another goalkeeper. Do you guys think that Franco gets dropped, or do you think that the jersey is his until proven otherwise? What would you say is the optimal from your point of view, and what do you think Matt would do?
I don't know.
The keeping situation is a weird one all around, isn't it? Because Franco joined the team last year, but now he's not fancied at all.
I think if you're going into the season with just one keeper, or one what you'd consider like a recognised first choice keeper, I think you're asking for trouble as well. The injury to Bishop, shows that as well. So I think you need to have a second keeper as well. The gloves are going to be Rav's, certainly for the time being as well. I'm probably not as. I mean, he played excellently against Rotherham. There's no doubt he was fantastic in that game as well. Tuesday, he might as well have just sat at the back in a deck chair with a pina colada, considering like how little he had to do. Sometimes clean sheets can be, a bit like misleading, determining how the game's going. He was excellent against Rotherham. He certainly deserves to play over a sustained period of time as well. But there's no harm in having a strong second keeper in there who's going to push him, who wants the gloves as well. That's why he's going to improve.
There's been no confirmation of how bad Bishop's injury is there?
Well, he was in a boot, wasn't he?
Cast. Yeah.
Assuming he's out for the season, it makes sense to bring another keeper in.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do agree. It makes sense to bring another keeper in. I would just, if I'm thinking in Franco's shoes, if it came to a situation on Saturday where the other keeper is just straight in at number one and given the jersey, I would be fuming if I was him. Do you know what I mean? It would be a case of, what more can I do, right? He's coming for Max. He's done an amazing job. Cool. He's re-signed a contract. Then they brought in Bishop. Okay, fair enough. Then Bishop's given the number one slot. Fine. Then he's had his chance. He's come in. He's done amazing. And they just brought someone else in and given it straight across. If that were me, I would be fuming. But I mean, obviously, we don't know. It's speculation, right? We don't know who's going to be named on the team sheet. And at the end of the day, as a professional footballer, you got to say, it is what it is. But it would be incredibly frustrating if that jersey was passed on to someone who's just come in after everything he's done. That's all. That was my point of view.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too dissimilar to what happened with Max. Like when he lost with Jersey earlier in the season, was it? I know there's a slight difference in the fact that he had that brilliant performance against Bradford, where he was the reason why we got to the VFL final. And then the next game where he got sent off, that was the last time he played after as well. And actually, Rav didn't have a brilliant couple of games in the time that Max was out. That scene at the time has been incredibly harsh in not playing Max. I mean, there's probably a lot more to it as well, in the contract situation behind as well. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think you're right. If he were to be dropped now, it would be incredibly harsh as well. But I think to have the backup, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between playing your way into contention, which Franco did in that situation. Max got a red card. He was out for a few games. Franco come in. He did well, and he kept the jersey. Fine. But if this new goalkeeper comes in, has done nothing in a Wickham shirt and then gets given the jersey ahead of Franco, that would be, I think that would be like a different situation. So but I do see what you're saying, Chris, in that it was harsh on Mac, and then obviously other things probably came into it, which is speculation. I don't know the ins and outs of what goes on behind the scenes. I'm sure other people on this call probably know more than me. But yeah. It's interesting.
I thought what's weird though is that our history's just repeated itself again. The fact that a couple of years ago Bishop was all set to come in, was at the training ground, didn't go through, sign a keeper from Livingston. This time Bishop does sign, plays out a couple of games, gets injured.
The Bishop
one, keeper from Livingston again.
So weird. I interviewed him. I was there at the training ground. He had not long finished a season with Man United, and I think he was in either Thailand or Australia or something. He then flew from whatever country he was in Asia back to England to join Wickham, and he was there doing a training session with Lee Harrison. I had a chat with him, did the interview, wrote it up, and I was constantly messaging Matt Cecil, when can I publish it? No, not yet. Never got published in the end because obviously at the time he never signed. And that, as we all know, screwed Wickham over because Tyler Dickinson, bless him, went into, was number one. And you can just tell he wasn't really ready to be playing football at that level. And very, very ironic that 2 years later we signed him and he's now injured for 3 months. I have been told on good authority that I think that is it now for signings this evening. I don't think we'll be seeing another announcement. That's what I've been led to believe. But I think it's important to remember that whilst the transfer window is over now until January, teams such as Wickham can still sign free agents. And of course, we have the emergency loan market if we need to use it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Wickham were to go into the free agent market to see who's out there and bring up and get someone on a short-term contract. I really, really wouldn't be surprised. So the Anthony Stewart, Fred Onyedinma rumours will probably continue.
Rumble on.
They will rumble on.
There's a shed load of frees, though. I mean, you look at Kadeem Harris still on a free. You've got Dwight Gale still on a free. Ladapo now. Waghorn still on a free. Yeah.
Carl Jenkinson. So, a lot of established names. And I've just seen, not in nothing to do with Wickham, but I've just seen that Raheem Sterling is going to join Arsenal. How very odd.
Wow, that's a good move for him, surely.
And James Ward-Prowse has joined Forest.
That's great for Forest.
That's so random.
Very random.
That's very random.
I just said it was a good move for Sterling, but it's probably not given the amount of talent that they've got left. But anyway, I hope it works out for the kid. It's not a kid anymore.
Chris has gone to refill his pot of mayo.
Birmingham have signed someone else, someone from Celtic for an undisclosed fee.
Oh, the
Probably
midfielder.
another 15
Japanese
mil.
midfielder. Tomoki.
Right, I'm going to grab another beer.
Let's assume that's it then for the 2024 window. Ratings out of 10, James.
I will say 8. I think it's been a solid.
Sorry, then a C minus.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's said that, haven't they?
Slightly generous from you.
Oh, I can say this now. Because the gaffer spoke to me about that, and yeah, he wasn't very happy, and I gave him an explanation. But looking at it now, it was a bit harsh. I didn't want to come across like I was being biased, but then looking at it now, retrospectively, I was a bit of a twat by giving him such a stupid mark. C plus B minus. That's what I really should have. It's done now.
Don't you putting the club in a good light?
I try my
C minus.
I know. I try my best. I did speak about the positives of last season, but I did mention about the 12-game winless run in League One, which he wasn't too pleased about being reminded of. But it happened. You know, we can't. Got to look at everything. And we had a good conversation about it, and that's what you need. In all seriousness, you need to have those sorts of discussions. And sometimes a good old humbling, from my perspective, is also needed. So yeah.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't like that at all. I shook his hand, and I was very, very appreciative. And speaking of people, I'm very appreciative of Mr. Jaden Wilkins has returned.
They take absolutely ages evening.
It's only been gone half an hour.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
McDonald's only 2 minutes down.
I got the 3 for 3 though.
You did get the 3 for 3. What did you get? What 3 for 3 did you get?
3 cheeseburgers.
3 cheeseburgers.
I was feeling
Dreamy.
One of them
What are these comments?
One was mine.
Or 2.
Oh bloody hell, mate!
What do you want? I can eat 3 cheeseburgers.
What?
I'm on a diet.
You're on a diet and you're having a burger.
I'm not on a diet. I just look after myself. I've been working out.
It's good to hear.
James, basically, what you're telling us, you just bottled it with Bloom's then.
Yeah.
I didn't bottle it.
You bottled it. You've basically gone up a grade just because he gave you a naughty little look.
No, so okay, what happened was that when I was asked and I
You bottled it.
Up the C. Yes, thank you, Jaden. Up the C minus. That sounds very dodgy. I got a message from someone from the club,
Have
and
a scrap.
oh, thank you so
And you
much.
bottled it.
Bon appetit, guys. I've got.
James, sorry to interrupt just as you're starting a burger, but can I ask, what do you find are like the differences between dealing with Gareth and dealing with Matt in terms of personality and openness, or kind of anything else that you've kind of noticed in terms of differences between those two kind of characters? Because they are obviously incredibly different.
I would say with Blooms, it's all about the data and the science and the stats. Everything. It's all numbers driven.
Yeah.
Which I think obviously in this day and age, managers need to evolve, I guess, and that it's all about, okay, if this player ran X amount, how can we get them to run more in this game without them getting injured or whatever? So it's all about thinking ahead. Gaz was a motivator. He was the sort of person that would light up the room and say, yeah, you can do it. I believe in you. And whilst obviously you need that aspect in a manager, the main difference I would say is that Gaz just spoke about the belief and the work ethic and the togetherness of the team, whilst Bloomfield, obviously, he still mentions that, but it's more about the stats. He was like, I know we lost today, but we had more shots on target with them, and I'm pleased with that because it shows that we can score goals. We just need to get our shooting boots on, X, Y, and Z. He's all very stats driven, and one thing I have noticed is that Blooms takes sometimes an age to come out to speak to the press, and the reason why that is because he's analysing the game as soon as it's finished. I remember when we lost to Lincoln last season at Sinsel Bank 3-0, a week after the Exeter game. Blooms was with Richard Thomas and Lee Harrison in the away dugout. Everyone had gone. I was the only. I obviously had Phil and Matt were there, and I was the only journalist for Wickham there. And I can see him. He's like 10 feet away from me, but he was there taking down notes. He was in deep discussions, going through all the data. And obviously, Gaz never did that. Gaz would speak to us within maybe 20 minutes. Blooms takes a bit more time because he looks at everything. So the main difference is that
it's really interesting because what you said there in terms of he will sit there and he will do everything. I remember him as a player, like when I used to go back in, talking 2006, or that kind of era, and you would see the play, you know, game's finished, 90 minutes is done, everyone's back in the dressing room, and the players would be coming out and doing their warm down. And Blooms was always one of those ones who was like the last one, still running drills up and down the Adams Park pitch, you know, an hour after the game was done. And it seems like he's kind of brought that also into his management style. Like he will just be there and he's focused and he will just keep going until there's, you know, nothing left to give almost. I mean, I'm not saying it's about his management style. He was never the most technically gifted player, but he was that person that would give everything on the pitch. And it sounds like from what you're saying, like he does the same in terms of management. He'll give it everything that he can in terms of, let's dive into today, let's do this, let's exhaust every kind of avenue that we can to get as much as we can out of this, which is obviously an incredible thing for us.
He always says the next thing for him is to see how Wickham can do better than the previous game. So he's just constantly trying to make the club better. That's why if you look at last season, when Wickham signed all those players at the start in the summer, most of those players were gone by January. Kean Brennan, Richard Keogh, Harry Boyes, Lyle Taylor, all these players that were signed in that transfer window were gone. Why? Because they didn't fit his mold. And he's someone for sentimental reasons. He's like, no, I'm the manager now. I need to do what's right. Case in point, Joe Jacobson. Joe Jacobson ever present for Wickham. Last season he played like 12 games, 13 games.
Yeah.
So he needs to be brutal, and I think he's doing a good job at that because we can see Wickham are progressing.
I mean, you look at the average age of the squad, right? And you take the average age of the squad versus the average age of the squad, for example, in our championship season. And in that championship season, we had Jacobson and we had Akinfenwa, and it's late now, but you know, we can probably list off a number of players who were quite old for that, you know, for that situation. But it was that Gareth had his generals and stuck by them and was almost too loyal in some ways to some of those players. Great servants of the club, but there comes a point where you go, that doesn't work anymore. We have to move on. And sometimes you do have to be brutal. So
I am listening to what you're saying.
Different philosophies. No, you're good.
I get what you're saying. Sorry, Jaden's just put a big box of chicken nuggets in front of me. He's just whipped out a big box of chicken nuggets. I'm like a dog. He is still here. That was a fantastic burger, by the way. Thank you very much.
I thought it was shit.
No, well, you should have right. But I will say, John, you make the point about being very, very loyal. The game that sticks out of my mind was when Wickham played Blackburn in their first away game in the Championship. Darius Charles started the game and he got sent off after 50 minutes.
Yeah,
he was getting run ragged, and after that, he hardly played again in the league.
Yeah.
So sentimentality in football, from a fan's perspective, is there, but from a manager, they need to win games. And unfortunately, if you keep a player based on sentimentality and you play them, there could be a liability aspect from it.
Yeah, of course.
So to answer your initial question, the main difference between Gaz and Blooms is that Gaz was all about the motivating, and he was like, "This is Wickham. Wickham were non-league, and now we're going in the Championship. You know, we need to try and fight." He was all about motivating, whilst Blooms is like the scientist. He's like, "Well, I honestly, up until Blooms, I didn't really care about XG, but every time I speak to him, he just constantly talks about it because he wants to know about the opponent and he wants to know how we can beat them." So, yeah. With that being said, Gaz did his research. Case in point, when we played Barnsley 2 years ago, beat them 3-0. the game where every goal was a worldie, Dom Gape scoring from like 80 yards, whatever it was. That game, Gaz told Dom the night before that the keeper likes to have a few yards off his line. So when Gape got the ball, he just tried it because he remembered it from the night before.
Mm-hmm.
And Gaz, off the record, was talking about how he looked into that. So obviously Gaz did do his research, but Blooms is all about the stats. These are fantastic nuggets.
They're very nice, aren't they?
Whose phone's going off? Is this transfer rumours?
Yeah, it's just a few going on. I mean, just more the fact that Birmingham have spent nearly 20 million for Jay Stansfield, which is absolutely unbelievable. There's 15 million with 5 million add-ons and 20% sell-on clause, 100 grand if they get promoted to the Championship. So,
wow.
How do you compete with that in this level? How can you? I mean, but mind you, it's an anomaly for 1 year, isn't it? You know, once they go, then it kind of resets itself. But
yeah, but does it? Because like you said, it's like the Steve Marlowe to Fulham thing, right? It's
yeah, it will knock on, won't it? I mean, if you look at even Charlton have done well this summer with the transfers, but they've been a bit smarter with it, I think. You've just got some really big sides there that will spend to get out. That's the difference.
Well, how much did they sign Alfie May for, Birmingham?
I think it was $1 million, wasn't it?
Just under. I think 950.
Yeah, just under.
Ryan also got 700k.
Yeah, Ryan also was nearly $1 million as well.
They spent 1.2 million on 2 goalkeepers.
That just tells you they got more money than sense if they're spending that much on Ryan Allsop. I mean, look, he's been okay in the Championship, but for him to sit on the bench, and especially when you've got Bailey Peacock Farrell, you're not going to play him, are you, really? So, just have a look through some of these. It has been. I mean, I'm just looking at some of the transfers coming through, just as you were kind of talking about the difference between Blooms and Gaz there, and some of the signings, even for our level, is just like, bloody hell, it's going to be a hard league this year.
I think, but this is where Wickham come into their own, because it'll be such a fantastic story that Wickham get playoffs without having to break the bank. Yes, we've had to spend money this summer. We've spent money on George, not you, George, the goalkeeper George. We've had to spend money on Dan Harvey and whatnot. So yeah, you need to spend money. But the money that Birmingham are spending is just from Brady. That there is no way Birmingham City can afford this. And I reckon in several years' time they will feel the pinch, because nearly 20 million for a League One club, that's obscene amount of money.
I'm just not sure how a club that can spend that much money got relegated in the first place.
Yeah.
Why have they not
the
spent
thing is,
anything near to that in the Championship?
There's some kind of rule, right, where they can't spend as much money in the Championship as they can in League One. I don't remember the ins and outs. Maybe Dan, you know a little bit more.
Yeah, it's FFP as soon as you get to the Championship. So they're SCMP, they're only bound by wage. I think it's wage at this level. So basically the owners can plough in as much as they want into the club as long as they put it through as a donation rather than a loan against the club. Whereas FFP is obviously bound by turnover. So that's where they do some dodgy sponsorship deals and things like that. So it's a bit different. I think they probably learnt their mistake after Rooney last year, obviously bringing him in. I mean, they could have actually made playoffs just having Eustace and not spending what would probably be now 40 million in League One for over a transfer window, if you count Stansfield separately to the others. Yeah,
I think they were the first team in. I think they were the first two. Sorry to interrupt you there, Dan, but I think they're the first team in Championship history to have 6 managers in one season.
You think Watford would have done that at some point, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Watford. Yeah, you would have thought.
It can't be far off.
It's impressive when you outdo Watford. The funniest thing for me tonight, right, and I don't know, just have a look through, is Ladapo went from Ipswich about 2 hours before. Cole U Twitter went off massively. Ladapo's coming to Cole U and all that, like he dropped down from playing in the Championship last season to a side that's barely scraped League Two survival. And and they said, "Oh, we've got a new striker coming in at 11 o'clock," and they've just announced Anthony Scully from Pompey. The meltdown is fun. So if you can, just have a look through. It's quite nice to watch.
Have you shared some of the best on your Twitter, Dan? That we can go and check out Dan Clark PR for the best of it.
No, I'm not. I don't engage with Cole Twitter for the best of me. I mean, I know our social media is a bit fucked up, but there seems to be another level. So
we won't mention your podcast, mate, Adam, and his comments on Kem Campbell to Red and Roy. Fuck you know.
No, it's a shame. You just, yeah. I mean, best of luck to him. They're all players probably earning similar wages to us at the moment at that level, aren't they? So, it's their livelihood. So we've got to be respectful.
But at the end of the day, the way I see it is Kem Campbell came to Wycombe Wanderers as a kid who came on loan and wanted to make his mark, right? I don't think he did anything wrong. It didn't work out, and that's that. It's like we spoke about with TJ before. He came over, he gave his all, and it didn't work out. That happens. When a guy gets a transfer to another club, and someone who is on a Wycombe Wanderers podcast feels the need to say, "Great guy, shit player," about a 20-something-year-old, I just think that's like a ridiculous post to make. Like, what benefit are you getting as a Wycombe Wanderers fan to feel the need to say that? Doesn't make any sense to me. And if Kem sees that, all it's going to do is make him feel like shit. And if Reading fans see that, all that's going to make them think is, well, we bought a dud, right? And he might do fucking amazing for them. We don't know. It's just a completely unnecessary comment to make, in my view. But that's just me.
Would you like the last nugget?
No, you haven't. Mate.
No, I've had.
Mate, you haven't. No.
Try and make an impassioned speech here, guys.
No, I was listening. I was listening to what you're saying.
I agree with what you say.
No, I was listening to what you were saying, John, because Jem Campbell, let's be real here. He came back last season and he just didn't set the world alight in comparison to his first spell. But there is a difference of criticism to just slagging someone off. There is a huge difference.
There's footballing criticism and personal abuse.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think a lot of fans don't really understand.
As soon as it gets to personal abuse, that's where you draw the line. You're allowed to criticise people on football, but not personal.
But it's not. I don't think it's even like, I wouldn't go on Twitter and say to any of our players or former players, "You're shit." I might message Dan and go, "This player didn't do well today, did he?" Fucking hell. Privately on WhatsApp. I wouldn't post it on Twitter and give them abuse, because what does that achieve? I don't think that achieves anything. Say it privately to your mates if you feel the need to, but abusing someone, and again, someone who's just had a move to a club where, hopefully he'll do well. But
I think
separately,
he quite clearly isn't a shit player, is he? I mean, he's playing League One football. He's in the Premier League academies, had England call-ups. He quite clearly isn't a shit player. Now, I think you can be a bit more nuanced. I personally don't think he played well in either of the two spells at Wycombe, and I do think he was out of his depth at that time. I think you could see that he's obviously got a lot of football talent, but he was almost playing at a different pace to what I think you need to play at in League One as well. So I think he was massively out of his depth. But I think to make crass comments of, "Oh, he's shit" or whatever, I think actually you need to be a little bit more in depth than that as well. Because quite clearly he isn't. He's playing at a level of football that any of us on here and any of us who are in the club can only ever dream of playing at as well. It's a slightly higher standard than Wycombe Sunday Park League.
It's like Mellor, isn't it? He got a load of stick, but to be on the books at Man United for that long, you have to have something about you, don't you?
And he was on trial at the back end of the 21-22 season. I know he was signed for the 22-23 season, but Gareth Ainsworth specifically wanted him to be part of training leading up to the playoff final, and he had him on trial and whatnot, and he really, really impressed. It's just a shame that his spell at Wycombe just turned to be a real disaster. He started one game, which happened to be the game which Luke Leahy scored the winner in against the Shrewsbury, August 2022. And he just never really got going. 3 loan spells, 2 relegations, I think it was. No, 2 loan spells at Rochdale, and he scored 1 goal in nearly 30 games, which is just terrible.
You got to question whether that's a confidence issue or an attitude problem or what it is. And I think it's fine. With Chem, he was on and off. He wasn't overly consistent with us. And yes, I think you can question if there is an issue there. But as you say, he seems to be doing well in Wolves' side. I think my concerns always tended to be Premier League 2 players, that they're playing against players who are very similar. They're not playing against players that are overly physical, which is what you see a lot more in League 1 and League 2. And I think that's the culture shock. As soon as they kind of come out of that environment into League 1, League 2, that's maybe where you find some succeed, some don't. And you look at Kean Breckin and Freddie Potts as an example of that last season. Obviously Kean Breckin coming from a Man City side, you look at his reels of whatever, and he looks like he's got the technical ability. And then as soon as you put him in an environment where you've got, people lumping 10 lumps of shit out of him, he's not obviously doing what he needs to do. But I think there's a level of questioning performance and questioning attitude, questioning confidence and things like that, and outright just saying something like that, that doesn't sit right with me, to be honest.
It's funny.
A good example actually to back it up is Luke Bolton, who I think in his spell when he was at Wycombe, I think nobody would have ever seen that he would have played in the EFL football. And where's he at now? He's just had another move, isn't he?
He was going to go to Mansfield, but I don't think it happened in the end. He was linked.
Wycombe have just.
We've had the tweet as well, the official tweet. No more signings.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 signings.
That's a renewal. That's a
renewal.
14.
Yeah, sorry. That's
they put GMAC and Franco.
GMAC and Franco. Yeah, good thing you're here.
14 signings. 11 have featured in the first team, or will feature in the first team.
Does Cameron Humphreys' Wycombe shirt look very different to everyone else's?
It looks darker.
Yeah, it must have been.
I would honestly, what a good window it's been.
Aaron Morley, we haven't really spoken about him, have we?
Very busy window, considering we didn't lose very many.
No, it's been a very busy window. Yeah. I mean, we've replaced the loans well that we lost. I think Cameron Humphreys is a perfect replacement for Freddie Potts, really, and he's going to be very, very good for us.
Freddie Potts actually said that one of the reasons why he wanted to join Wycombe was to learn and adapt to the physical aspects of the Football League, because he even just echoed your thoughts, Dan, about how
PL2
football isn't as physical, it's more technical than physical. He wanted to adapt to that. And Portsmouth, I really hope the Portsmouth fans, I don't know how many are watching this now, are so. I hope they understand how good of a player he is. Mm-hmm. I really, really do, because he can easily get into a championship side, and I think Portsmouth will be a good fit for him.
Same with Huddersfield and Big Nige, I suppose. Yeah, they've got a hell of a player.
Yeah, it's a good signing.
Yeah. I think it's a shame for Freddie that David Moyes left this summer. Otherwise, he'd been in for minutes in the Premier League.
See, I don't know. I think he was no closer to the first team than what he was this time last year, really. I know, obviously, he had a good loan, but I don't think he was any closer just because of how many they've signed. And did they get? I think they got Carlos Soler in the end, didn't they?
That's because of the manager switch, isn't it? There's no way they do that level of business with Moyes in charge.
Yeah, I mean, had they kept Moyes, I think it would have been a different story. Maybe he would have been a little bit closer, but I think under Lopetegui, James just disappeared. Yeah, I think he.
My Duolingo is about to expire for the day. I need to do one more day.
Okay, right.
Sorry, chaps. Wait,
you want me to use the vacuum?
Yeah, wait, is it charged yet?
Vacuum. it's the deadline day vacuum. We didn't get a signing, but we got this. So
just going back a little bit. Like we talked earlier, or James talked about how he bottled it.
How James bottled what? I wasn't here for this conversation.
Basically, James bottled it. It was great.
Apparently, because you recorded the interaction I had with the gaffer.
Well, that wasn't my fault.
No, I didn't bottle it.
I was just getting
on the screen. Have you still got it?
I was actually. I was
just getting my interview as normal, and then that conversation unfolds while I start recording.
Yeah, well, to be fair, he had just lost to the side that has just spent like 40 million now in League One. Came out, shook my hand, said C-. Then and I thought, okay, we might as well just talk about this now. And we had a very brief but positive discussion where he expressed why I was wrong.
And you agreed.
No, I didn't agree. I said I understand your opinion, but here's why I gave you a C-. On reflection, I think it was harsh, but we did go 12 games without a win last season.
So was it that part, James, that was the main reason for the C-?
The C. If Wickham didn't go on the 12-game winless run, I would have given a C. I would have given maybe a CC+. But the fact that it was such a long time between a win.
Okay, and what are you giving him now?
I'll give him. I'll just A star, and then be.
So, George, what would you have given him?
In all seriousness, from when Blooms took over to now, as in like as we're talking right now, I would say probably a B. He got to a Wembley final. We absolutely shat on Steve Evans, which was brilliant. Very, very good.
George, what would you give him?
Well, you've got to remember who he took over from.
I think we've got to have this conversation about what each of us would give him. I think we should have this conversation.
The level of control that Ainsley have had and how long he was here for, he built his culture, he built the squad the way he wants it. For anybody to take over and hit the ground running straight away would have been some feat.
Yeah, I agree with you, George.
Yeah, Blooms, he came in, he had a rocky start, didn't he? What did we win 2 Saturday games in nearly 2 months? I
remember that
window. And
the thing is,
could have won on Saturday.
The thing
so,
is, I think
what grade would you give him, George?
I'd go B+, just because of
John.
What he took over.
You're in agreement with George, are you?
I would go A- overall.
Really?
Yeah. I really I'll explain a little bit why. On what George said, like he's taken over from someone who's run the club for 10 years. He is really a rookie manager, right? He's had a season with Cole U, well, less than a season, and he's been coaching with us for a while. So it's, if you think in sort of corporate terms, coming into a massive job when someone's had that role for 10 years and you've been doing it for a year and a half, whatever it is a really difficult job to do. And if you look in terms of football historically, it doesn't happen that often in the NFL when managers have had it for 10 years. But if you look at Ferguson or Wenger and the managers that have coming after them, there's massive expectation. You only have a job for 10 years as a football manager if you've done really fucking well, right? And Gareth Ainsworth did really fucking well. So to come in and try and follow that up is a big, big task. And then you give that to someone who's only got a small bit of experience of actually managing a football club is really difficult. So first, that's the challenge that he had. Now, it's easy when you go to games week in, week out to get really frustrated with small periods of time. But I think when you look at the overall situation, he's not taken us forward in any terms. But I think if you look at the full, complete style change that he's brought in, the squad churn, like he's as James was saying earlier, he's got rid of, and I don't mean this in any negative way, but the deadwood, right? In terms of he's been ruthless in terms of saying, right, yes, you are a Wickham legend, but you're not what we need right now. You're gone. And the players that he's brought in, and I mentioned them before, your Leahys, your Kones, the Butcher, and even the loans Lonvik and Potts and all of these players that he's brought in. I really think his record in terms of transfer windows has been really impressive. He knows what he's been looking for. He's brought those players in. He's brought players in that fit the style that he wants to play. And he's transformed us in pretty much a year and a half from a shithousing kind of long ball, whatever the kind of stuff that was thrown at us, which, yes, was successful, but he's changed from that into his vision and his style. And we're now seeing the benefits of that. And the league that we're in right now is incredibly difficult. We spoke about Birmingham, but there are a lot of other clubs that are spending astronomical amounts of money that we're not spending. Got managers with experience that Matt doesn't have, like Nathan Jones and the likes of these guys. He's in a really tough position in terms of trying to take us up to the Championship, which, by the way, we've only achieved once. And let's be honest, it was a bit of a fluke, right, with the COVID season. So to kind of expect that from him is another level. So what he's done in his time here, I think, is very impressive for what I would say a rookie manager following on from a legendary manager in Wycombe Wanderers history. Gareth Ainsworth is either the first or second best manager in our history, whoever you speak to, in my opinion. I don't think you'll find many people that would disagree with it. So to follow on from that and change everything into his mold of thinking and move forward, and I think we are now seeing progression upwards. I'm very impressed with what he's done, given his level of experience and what he had to follow on from. Sorry, that was a bit rambly, but yeah.
No, that was really good. It's an interesting point, because I must admit I've looked at it in a slightly different way, like myself as well. I mean, Aaron, would you is there anything you would counter that with? Would you, so far, old James for Bottler has gone for an A. We've got A's and B's as well. Now, what would your thoughts be?
I'd say a B.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one because, like we said, you're comparing him to someone who's done incredibly well in the role he had as manager previously and stuff. But I think it was never going to be an easy job, whoever came in, even if you got like a Nathan Jones or an experienced manager to kind of follow in the footsteps of a bloke that's been there 10 years and was the club for that length of time. I just think he's steadied the ship sort of thing for that big a change in the club's history. That kind of, I don't see you can really fault him for what he's done. I think you can obviously look back and say the kind of the winless run and not getting wins on Saturdays and stuff. But overall, where we finished his first season in charge and stuff like that, the cup final we got to, I know it's the Pizza Cup and all that, but it's a cup final in his first couple of years of management. It's a good start, and I think he's got a good future ahead of him. My only criticism would be that he's got the style he wants to play, and I don't think sometimes he necessarily kind of goes with a plan B when it's not working. It's like, no, that's the style, and I'm going to make it work that way. And sometimes I think he just needs to be a little bit more flexible in that.
But I will say, one of the things that we always criticised Gareth for was not making substitutes when it was needed. Yeah. And then we saw at the weekend, Matt saw things weren't working, brought in those two new lads and made the change that was needed, So I think that's something in itself where he is learning on the job in terms of this isn't working, let's make a change, and he's done what needed to be done.
But we also saw that midweek as well. I mean, football is no longer a game won by 11 players. It's now won by the 16. And I think you made a really good point there, John, actually, is that I think a big fault, particularly in the first half of last season, was that, if things weren't working at 50, 60 minutes, you didn't have the ability or the players with the ability to change the game as well. Saturday was a perfect example where being able to bring on the likes of who came on as well, like Morley as well, change that game completely as well. And we also actually saw it in a slightly different way against Swansea, where at 60 minutes he's able to make 4 substitutions, which actually, and again it's made for different reasons, change the game as well, and just gave a little bit of security at a time where we looked, slightly vulnerable. I feel a bit mean now. I probably wouldn't give him above a C. And Yeah, so this is the way that I look at it. Okay, so I'm going up old. Sorry?
You've been slagging off James for giving him a C for weeks.
And then yeah.
No, I'm slagging James off for bottling it and giving him a B when he said a C minus.
I'll tell you what you did, Bottle. Put in the Hoover on charge.
Oh no!
That's what I was just laughing at. He's sat there. He plugged this Hoover in, right? Had this Hoover plugged in over there. He hasn't even he didn't turn the plug on, so it's just been sat there doing nothing.
Because it's like.
Right. So this is the way that I look at it. Okay, so if you're going to old school teacher grades from an A to an F, okay, so I'm looking right. A, you're going for promotion. You're winning that league. He's doing something far outstanding above what the team would be expected to do. So I think immediately we rule that out as well, because I don't think we can say to a club, look at the moment, like we're going to win the league, barring a bloody miracle. I then think if you're looking at a B, you're looking at doing above what the club would expect to do as well. So then I think you're looking around the playoff picture as well. And that may well change in time as well. But that's why I wouldn't put that at the moment as well. I think, if you're looking at the end of last season as a snapshot on its own, then that was outstanding. But as James had pointed out earlier, it's that first half of the season as well, where there were a lot of mistakes that he's made as well. And I think actually it's to his credit where, I think he'd spotted like the errors that he'd made. Bringing in a lot of alone players, I think, he'll probably concede himself. Probably in hindsight isn't something that he'd do in exactly the same way as what he did then as well. And he made those changes. And, you have seen this transfer window a different approach as well. The profile of the player that we're signing is actually that little bit older generally than what we had as well. So, that's what I'd look at as a C as well. Certainly you can't go any lower because I think the club are actually performing what you'd probably expect. And it's easy to forget actually, as much as we've been a little bit seduced by how well Ainsworth have done the last couple of years and been expecting to finish near the top. That was still our third best ever league finish last year. I think my only criticism, the only thing, and it's probably a bit harsh, is I do think it could be a bit more on the front foot. Essentially we attack with 3 players. I think that would be the only thing that, I would say myself as well, because I think there's an awful lot of talent in that squad as well. And utilised in the right way, I think we could cause a lot of teams a lot of problems, or a lot more problems from what we've had.
It's a good argument to have. I think given the time, it might be one for next week. We can dip into it a little bit more. It's almost midnight. We've had the tweet to say fuck off and go to bed. So I think that might be a good idea. I did buy. I was a bit optimistic, and this was before we announced 2 signings about 8 o'clock. I bought confetti cannons just in case we were to announce a signing on the live stream. Hannah has been itching to set one off all night.
Could you do it now?
I'm going to let her do it.
No, we have to do it together.
I'm not setting off both of them. I'm going to keep one safe.
Then I can't do it then.
Just stand over there and just set it on.
No, because if you're not doing it, fine. Wait.
Twist it.
I'm tired.
How'd you do it?
Hear about what happened to my hotel room?
You're still talking about the cannon?
Is there more?
You can't set it off.
Oh, hold on.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Similar to what Jade was doing when he gets into James's hotel room.
In your office and not in the bedroom, because that would be a whole clean up.
Oh my word. I don't know how much of it you can see.
Oh my word.
Oh god.
That was £2. What a bargain.
That was really loud as well. We've definitely just woken up the neighbours and they've. Oh,
do you reckon I can get one of them into the terrace?
Yeah, do it.
It count as a pirate spending.
Wow. You know what? That was actually worth the wait.
That was well worth it. Cheers to a cracking summer transfer.
Oh my god, god, they can't see the state of the floor right now.
They
can
can't
they?
see the state of the floor. I'm going to take a picture of it and put it in the.
I was going to say, like, it's quite bad.
The group chat. That is.
It's
Get
just
the Hoover out in the morning.
Oh god, we're going to find cafe for ages. Oh look, it's
It's
stuck.
gone absolutely
It's
everywhere.
got stuck in the grass.
It's gone absolutely. I don't know how much of it you
We
can
didn't
see.
quite hit the
Yeah, it's up there.
It's like little pieces.
I think that's a good place to end it. Bang on midnight.
I'm really
The,
scared
the,
that we're
the
going
current view count is 1,847. That's not live viewers, I assume.
Is that still now, George?
StreamYard have changed it where it just totals the amount of viewers who have clicked on it in general. So we're just under 2,000 views in 2.5 hours, which is sensational. Unfortunately, there is no way to see what the live views peaked at, but I assume we've sort of gone on a slow decline in the last hour or so.
Obviously, it's like a slow incline, a dramatic incline. While we've still got some people listening, and hopefully we've got more than top list on, because there's no way on earth any drum and bass is going on it. A recent intervention has been posting Jolo Torre's music taste, which, you know, frankly is full at the moment of scouting for girls, which is quite diabolical for someone of his age. But we just, well, we say we, me and him have just created a Spotify PSP playlist. Anyone who wants to put in a chat a song suggestion, no drum and bass allowed whatsoever. Obviously, I can imagine there's a certain person who would probably want a bit of Rick Astley in there. Would you say, Aaron?
For fuck's sake. If you only you get the two pictures up on it now.
There is literally, you know, I think Wickham is a breeding ground for lookalikes. And there's none finer than Rick Astley. I see he's just messaged now.
I kind of really regret doing that.
So, what songs to re-educate Jolo Torre should we be putting into the
My
playlist?
music taste isn't that bad, just because I like Scouting for Girls and David Gray. All right.
Yeah. Along with your
My
grand.
work today said David Gray is very good, and they said I have a great taste in music. So have that.
I just
Yeah,
can't
that was your
unsee the
grand.
Astley thing now you've said it. I've never noticed it before. Now you've said it.
No, it just came to me. It was like, who is that? Is that Ben or is
Does
that?
that remind you of from Wickham?
Yeah, that is Ben through and through.
We're not
And I
sure.
didn't. By the way, I didn't even hear this conversation because I was just going for a piss and filling my drink. So, but you showed that picture. That's definitely Ben.
Thank you, Ben. Scouting for Girls are okay. So yeah,
That's me.
Yeah, but Ben's older than your dad, so you know it doesn't really count.
Oh, does it not? My dad likes Scouting for Girls.
Well, I think that's point proven.
Does he have any success with it?
I was about to say that.
Well, we've got living proof of it just here on the screen.
Hey,
We've
Who's
got
your
living
favourite?
proof of that.
Jaden, who's your favourite band?
Oasis, actually.
Ah, timely.
Yeah, as of Wednesday.
No. You've seen my messages in the group chat.
Yeah.
Union got announced. To be fair, give me that.
Which is this one.
What about you, John? Who's your favourite?
Put myself in a hole there. Do you know what? And this is absolutely terrible. My favourite all-time artist is Alanis Morissette. So there you go.
That bad?
It's quite bad. It's quite bad, but I had bad influences when I was growing up, so that's what it is. I'll put it down to that.
Yes,
my
so
favorite,
did I.
my favorite kind of recent band are, and they're not even recent now. They're showing my age, I guess. But Biffy Clyro.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, we've got Welcome to the Jungle, Liam O'Rourke wants.
Say again.
Liam wants Welcome to the Jungle.
Mm-hmm. Who's your favourite band, Chris? Guns N' Roses?
Oh, no. See, I do love Oasis. And I actually can remember them first time round. So yeah, no, Oasis all the way. But yeah, very much the Smiths, Oasis, Blur, Flaming Lips.
I reckon you're about 3-4 years older than me, so you remember properly Oasis and Blur when they were first.
Oh yeah.
So, whereas
I sent it.
Jaden, that
What about you, George? What goes on your CD player, George?
Oh, I've got a playlist for everything. My Spotify playlists are so diverse. I've got one for the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. That is Scouting for Girls live at the Bucks Uni.
I have
George,
also Scouting for Girls.
George, if you had a really shitty day and you were just like, I'm just going to put a song on that's just going to cheer me up, what would it be?
Oh, I'm a bit into Meghan Trainor at the minute.
Okay.
Her new album just hits me where I live.
I'm on board.
Tell you another female singer who I'm really into at the moment.
Oh God.
Sabrina Carpenter.
She's back with Barry though, which is devastating news.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, what a shit.
Barry?
I heard it on Capital yesterday, and I nearly drove off the.
Jaden, George, you've missed your chance.
I know. My deadline day's been ruined. All the good signings have been ruined by
Hannah's
Sabrina
not happy
Carpenter.
about it, but
Sabrina.
Sabrina's not with Barry.
What about you, Aaron? We've left you out, Aaron. Who's your favourite band?
Well, I think you know who it is, but it might change if I don't get tickets tomorrow morning.
I know who it is. It's Tom on the drums, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah.
I'm going to guess
It's Tom,
Catfish.
the drummer.
I'm going to guess Catfish on the bottom. Since you just said tickets.
I have got tickets for that as well, to be fair. But
fair
I need to get tickets tomorrow morning, otherwise I might kill Chris.
Yeah, I think we will cry if we don't.
Have you
We've
got
a plan all in place. It's
have you got the advanced codes?
No.
To be honest, I haven't even bothered. Like, obviously, I'm out in Jib. There's no point in me even trying, right? Like, because even if I could get tickets, then I've got to get the deal past the missus and be like, right, you look after the 4 and 5-year-old. I'll go over and watch Oasis. I'll be gone for a couple of days. Probably not going to work.
Thing is, I have seen them live, and they were so disappointing. They are awful. They're not quite as bad as U2, who frankly the biggest embarrassment to music the world has ever seen, but they weren't great.
I had, and my memory is really bad because I smoked a lot of weed when I was a kid, but I had tickets to a festival, and I can't remember which one. It might have been it might have been a Reading or Leeds, where Oasis were set to play, and they cancelled last minute, and they were replaced by Snow Patrol. Now,
yes,
I like
V Festival.
They're okay, they're all right, but they're not fucking Oasis. So I felt bad for Snow Patrol. Everyone was fucking raging. They must have had the worst time. But yeah, V Festival. So yeah, sad times. So that was my only opportunity to see them. So. There we
I
go.
can't remember the best artist I ever seen. Dizzy Rascal live. That was something else. Dizzy Rascal at Boardmasters.
I like Dizzy Rascal.
Yeah,
I remember going to Prodigy. They were immense.
I saw them at the Birmingham Indoor Arena and supported by Dizzy Rascal, ironically. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. Don't know if anyone else was at that gig, but yeah, Dizzy Rascal supported Prodigy on one of their tours, probably about 10 years ago now.
Kings of Leon live were unreal.
Do you know one band that I've seen live a couple times at festivals, and everyone says they're class, but I've never been blown away by them? Is Muse. Every time I see Muse, they've been really meh.
Really?
Yeah. And another band that I adore, I love Arctic Monkeys. I saw them when they were playing Reading Leeds Festival, and they played Leeds the night before. And obviously Sheffield's right next to Leeds, they're Sheffield, so they obviously went all out for that. Reading, they were fucking hammered. They just looked like they did not want to be there. We've done our big gig in Leeds, we've done our hometown. Reading, fuck them. And Alex was off his face, like could barely string 2 words together. It was embarrassing. So yeah, a couple bands that I really like. Everyone says they're amazing live, but anytime I've seen them have been shit.
Depends.
I think one of the of course it does. Of course it does.
Yeah.
They're humans at the end of the day. One of the best I've ever seen live is Red Hot Chili Peppers. I saw them at Hyde Park, supported by fucking James Brown of all people.
Oh my god, that would be immense.
What a lineup, right?
That'll be a miracle now.
Yeah, well, yeah. that would be something now. Yeah, Michael Jackson on the pre show.
Twins to me after.
But yeah, that was good.
I've got tickets to see Kasabian in November. That I'm looking forward to.
Oh, you lucky Matt. Love a bit of Kasabian.
Well, if my daughter pulls out, you can come along, Jolo.
Oh, yes, please.
You're first in the line.
I'm first in the line.
Ben Dunlop
Is
saw
that
the
any-
Utah Saints in Digbeth last year. Tiny venue, a very different type of experience, but I would recommend it. Do you know what? There's something about seeing a band that you absolutely fucking love in a really small venue. I mentioned Alanis Morissette. I don't know if any of you guys have been to Brixton Academy, but I saw Alanis at Brixton Academy. And as well, Blink-182 at Brixton Academy. And that's quite a small, quite intimate venue. And when you see artists of that level in a small place, it's something quite different to seeing them at like a festival or like a massive stadium, right? It's like if someone could say, "Oh, I've seen Oasis at a 300 seat, 300 standing venue," or those that are seeing like Arctic Monkeys in a little lead mill in Sheffield when there's 200 people there. That's another level to.
I saw the Killers at Brixton.
Yeah.
Do you know? What made me think best band no one would have ever heard of. Best gig I've ever seen. Band called Mr. Wilson's Second Liners. They're a Manchester band. They basically they play New Orleans street music, but they do 90s house songs to it as well. So if you go onto YouTube, there's loads of clips on. They do like loads of mini festivals, tour the country, mainly around the northwest as well. Mr. Wilson's Second Liners. They do unbelievable versions of Prodigy and stuff as well, and it absolutely goes off every time. They're one. If you're ever at a festival somewhere where you get to see them, they are well worth going to watch.
I'll be honest, like the music scene in Jib is like dead, right? They used to be before COVID. They would have an MTV festival where they would get like people over, like they had Kings of Leon here, they had Bastille here, like Neo, like quite well known acts, right? But apart from that, there's just nothing going on. So every time I go back to the UK, I've got a friend who's into live music, and we're like, right, we'll always go. We'll go and see we'll just go to a gig. Don't care who it is. Don't care what it is. We'll just go find somewhere that's like wherever I'm staying, wherever she's at. We'll go find a gig and we'll just go watch it. And we found this band called the Josh Abbott Band, and they're like they're a country band, but they do kind of like quite rocky kind of sounds. And I'm like obsessed with some of the stuff. Like it's unreal, and it's one of those things where you never heard of this band in your life. You go and watch them live in a little venue where there's 50 people there, and you're like, these guys are unreal, and you just listen to them all the time. Music's fucking class, isn't it?
It is very good.
Music's right. I like music. But yeah. I miss going to watch live music. So now anytime I'm back in London or wherever I am, I'm like, right, just go find a gig. Don't care who the fuck it is. 10 quid to get in, whatever, and just go watch some live music because I miss it here.
Just do a PSP music version.
It's a good time to mention in Wickham tomorrow, the best cover band or Wickham's best cover band, Dizzy Fisher playing. I think they're either at the Crown or one of the pubs around Hazelmere as well. Lead singer's a big Wickham fan, is always on the terrace as well. So they're well worth going to watch as well. Lots of the 90s classics, a lot of Oasis will be even played tomorrow.
Gaz is doing a gig in Wickham soon, isn't he, Aaron? I think you mentioned it.
Yeah, if it's not Wickham, it's somewhere fairly local, yeah.
Find the details, share it with the crowd. With the 7 people that are watching.
Right, I'm going to shoot anyway.
Yeah, right.
I think that's a good time.
We'll speak to you in the morning, Aaron.
Yeah, you better Have some luck.
All right, last bit. What are your predictions for Blackpool tomorrow? Oh, obviously early kickoff. Go on, give us the scoreline.
Oh,
2-0 Wickham.
2-0 Wickham. 1-0 Wickham.
John, before I even say the score, I need to add this in. John, you've added a bit of class to this show that really has not been seen in many a long time. We've come a long way since the days of Drummond. You know, we had people refusing to come on because of C-bombs all over the place. And we're going intellectual heights I've never ever thought we'd ever get to with you on there. It's quite nice having someone who can say more than one sentence. And
do you know what? I spoke to Dan about a year ago and said, listen, if you ever need someone to do a little side piece on the heroes of HB12, give me a shout. But never heard back. So obviously they like Adam.
Can we steal you?
They like people that slag off, you know, young up and comers who didn't quite make it at Wickham, rather than me. So fine, all good. I appreciate the comment.
George, can we put in a free transfer?
Deadline's not closed.
It is a free agent, isn't it?
I'm a free agent, so transfer window doesn't matter. Give me a shout.
Put a contract on the table. Give him what he wants.
Do it, George. Do it.
I'm sure we'll discuss it in the morning.
All right, go on, George. What's your score prediction? Let's have it.
3-0 Wickham.
All right, I'll go 2-2.
I'm going with George 3-0.
Easy game.
Feeling good about it. They're conceding goals like it's going out of fashion. Let's have it.
Can't believe they've got Keogh as manager as well.
Catherine will be having a field day. And on that note, George,
thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Take care.
Yeah, midnight. It's probably the latest we've stayed up doing this.
An hour later for me as well.
Safe journey up to Blackpool if you're heading north tomorrow. Good luck with the Oasis tickets if you're getting up nice and early for those. But other than that, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always. Thanks to John, Aaron, Jaden, James, Chris. Who else joined us? Dan, and the brief cameo from Liam and Topless Tom, who we couldn't see, probably for the
thank God
the benefit of everyone. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I appreciate you all up the Wickham, and we'll see you very, very soon.
Cheers, guys.